Okay, how's everybody doing today? I'm going to wait here for a second to see if anybody comments to make sure I'm live. So, my name is Kent. The channel is EOS San Diego, and we are blockchain developers. We have developed an application on the blockchain, the EOS blockchain, by the name of Challenge. Actually, I'll show it to you real quick. The Challenge application. Where's it at here? Let's go to EOS, and where are we at right now? We're on EOS. Let's go to social, because that's where we're at. And let's see where we're at. Do we show up here? Yeah, here we are, number 4. So this is our application running on the EOS blockchain. 5,184 unique users. And we have a number of people that are on this application all the time. So we have some views, we have some users, and we're running on the EOS blockchain. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about EOS and that blockchain EOS, and really pose the question to everyone: is EOS a dead blockchain? And the reason for that question is because, and let's just take a look at the markets. Let me expand this out a little bit here. Let's just take a look at the markets. Bitcoin obviously is the market leader. I mean, that's the Bitcoin. Everybody knows Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the transition into the new age or new era of money, which is digital money, and it's number 1. And of course, it's got almost $1 trillion market cap, and it is the market leader. EOS used to be right in here too. Used to be number 3, number 4. I don't know if it ever was number 3, but I think it was number 4. And we thought maybe one day that it would. I got a thumbs up, so thanks. I'm live. So we thought one day maybe EOS would move up into the number 2 spot behind Bitcoin. And as you can see today, we are way back in 25. So that's a little bit of a concern. The other thing, when you're behind people like Dogecoin, which is, if anybody follows Dogecoin, knows that it was kind of created as a joke. And even though Elon Musk makes a comment about it, it still isn't anything close to infrastructure or utility or running applications or anything like that. I believe it's just a store of value. But to me, by the time I go to the website and take a look at it, you can take a look at it. It usually is something that I can't really get past hardly the website, because I don't really see much there. See right here, go to Dogecoin and take a look at it. I mean, it's just kind of, even the feel of the website itself isn't, to me, very good. I don't really care for it. And to think this is a market cap greater than EOS, that raised $4 billion, that got a waiver from the Security Exchange Commission, that is actually running applications and dApps right now, is pretty incredible. So this is the world we live in. And let's go back and talk about this for a while. And if you have a comment, please join me and give me some ideas of how to, continue with this discussion, because I really want to dive into, is EOS dead? I built a channel around EOS. We have run an application on EOS, and there's a number of things that are very concerning about EOS right now, and I want to talk about those, and I want to bring them to light and just discuss them. The first thing is that EOS is way behind the other application or other blockchains. Ethereum's way up here, number 2. Cardano's way up there. Oh, you got all these Chainlink, and here we are. EOS is down to number 25 already. The second thing about EOS that's troublesome to me is, of course, the chief technical officer, Dan Larimer, left the project. And right now, I don't even know who is the CTO. I guess they announced one the other day. I haven't really found out. I should probably have found that out before I started this stream, but I don't know who the chief technical officer is. Haven't heard anything about it. Haven't seen it in any of the the news. So I don't know. Hey, how you doing? So I don't know who the chief technical officer is now. So we'll see. A number of other things are going on. One of the things going on is the REX, the resource center that we use to buy resources, CPU, and RAM for application, is no longer a 30-day period where we can buy the RAM and the CPU. Now it's down to single day. So we buy RAM and CPU or resources for our application. We can only buy 24 hours at a time. That was a little bit concerning for us too. The other thing was concerning to me is that I see that Google is made an effort to become a block producer, but they really haven't done much. They're way back here. I think in number 80. I just looked at it a second ago. Here's Google. So and look at their number 80, and they're losing votes. So if Google is thrown into this, why aren't they moving up? What's going on with Google? So you've got the drop in market price, the drop in the coin price, the chief technical officer leaving, the fact that Google got a board but doesn't really do anything with this. Let me see, the fact that Rex, the resource center, is starting to become a little harder to work with, and you can't go as long range as we were before. So those are 4 things that are kind of concerning. And then to throw in just a few other concerning things, Colin Does Crypto, who used to be very bullish on EOS, completely had one of the largest proxies for votes, had more people following his proxy than anybody else as far as votes, and votes are everything with the proof of stake. Proof of stake is how you make decisions on this blockchain. Your vote counts. So when you have the largest vote person, the person that has accumulated the most amount of people following him for ideas and trusting his ideas and trusting his decisions as far as the chain's concerned, and he leaves, that was a big concern for us. Yeah, all these things accumulate to where I myself have kind of wondered about where EOS is going and what the future of EOS is. Even though I've continued to tout it and we continue to run our application on it. So this stream is really about if EOS is dead, if it's a dead blockchain, and what the future holds for EOS. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I've been doing a little investigation and I've been talking to a few people, and I'm going to have a few more people on this channel to talk about EOS and where the direction of EOS is going and what's going on with EOS. And I first got to talk about people, the way people see things, perceive things, not necessarily the way things are, but the way people perceive things. And I've come to a couple conclusions. The first conclusion is first of all, Vitalik is an absolute market, heavyweight. Vitalik Buterin. I mean, when you put Vitalik Buterin up against Dan Larimer, Vitalik, and of course Ethereum being, the first to market, and Vitalik being how you doing, Southpaw? Vitalik being a very strong presence as far as his ability to communicate and his ability to get people interested in blockchain. So Ethereum always had a big leg up on EOS, just simply because of Vitalik, in my opinion. And if you don't know who Vitalik is and you don't know who Dan Larimer is, I think I pulled up their 2 images a little bit ago. Let me pull them up again. So obviously, here's Dan Larimer. He was the chief technical officer of EOS who stepped down, and we'll talk about that a little bit, why he stepped down, and maybe some of the other stuff about where he's going, what's going on with Dan. And of course, let's see if we got Vitalik in there too. Right here. Here's Vitalik and Dan. So between these 2 guys, it was pretty obvious that Vitalik got people's interest more than Dan did. Dan just did not seem to, as smart as he is, just did not seem to get people too interested in the EOS blockchain. And I think one of the reasons why Dan wasn't able to do it very well was because Dan has a very strong libertarian point of view, which means that he is very wouldn't say anti-government, but very, the government is something that he thinks is a nefarious entity that should, that we should be independent, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, I guess is what his motto is. So his thing is kind of keep the government as far away from the blockchain as possible. And of course, when they started negotiating waivers to get the blockchain, hey Brian, how you doing? When they started negotiating waivers to get the blockchain approval by the Security and Exchange Commission, and not only negotiate a settlement, and I think it was like $20 or $30 million settlement, they had to negotiate into the future as far as regulations concerned. So they had to be under the control, or everything they had to do had to be scrutinized in the agreement that they had with the Security and Exchange Commission. And I think that was just a little too much for Dan. The fact that everything had to be checked out by the government for them to be forward, and of course they were pretty much throwing themselves open to regulation. And of course at that point I think Dan became very skeptical of the blockchain and kind of wanted to step away from it because it didn't fit his worldview, and of course that kind of left him with a void. So that definitely did not help the image of EOS to have Dan step aside. Can you imagine what it would be like to have Vitalik step aside and distance himself from Ethereum? That would be a huge problem because people believe in Vitalik. They trust him. They think that he's the one to lead them into, mass acceptance. He's a smart guy. He's animated. He kind of makes you think that, he's just really he's a good showman, in my opinion. And he is a good showman because he talks a good game, and he's not someone that you think that is giving you bullshit. I mean, you basically believe Vitalik. When he says they're going to launch 2.0, you believe they're going to launch it, even though they never do launch it, but you just believe it. I mean, you think that he's he seems a little bit younger, doesn't seem so much like he's trying to push people in certain directions. He just seems pretty open, and he says stuff out there sometimes that isn't always flattering for Ethereum. So he's kind of like he's a real world person thinking in general ways and not trying to be a gamer and trying to focus on his ideas and only his ideas are legitimate. He's pretty much all over the place, and you kind of tend to trust him and believe him. So anyway, Dan's gone. I don't think blockchain or EOS blockchain and the settlement and the further regulation was fitting his worldview, so he's gone. That definitely hurt EOS and strengthened Vitalik and Ethereum. So that was very much a negative for EOS. And you can see it in the market. Vitalik, Ethereum is way up. Even though this is not the true Ethereum. I mean, the true Ethereum is Ethereum Classic, which is way back down here. Vitalik just decided to start off with the new Ethereum when they had a hack. Yeah, here's the real Ethereum, Ethereum Classic down here, which is setting into $1 billion market cap. But the one that got forked is setting up here at 186 billion market cap. So right there is a very interesting idea. If people are really following Ethereum, the real Ethereum is way back down beneath EOS. But anyway, Ethereum is winning as far as the smart contract blockchain. And it's been winning for a long time. It's been winning since the day number one. And EOS has not competed very well with Ethereum, although EOS, in my opinion, is a blockchain that you can run an application on. We run on EOS, not Ethereum. We can't run on Cardano. We have tried to talk to Binance a little bit about running on Binance. But Binance is basically running on Ethereum. So everything, all roads lead to Ethereum. And I think probably if you had to make a guess about how the future is going to play out in smart contract world, I would say it's probably going to be Ethereum, be the smart contract platform, running the contracts that would basically clear all transactions, and then all the side chains. Hey Remy, how you doing? So then all the side chains will be running on ERC20 tokens or some side chain, and then it'll all be interoperable with Ethereum. That's probably the way it's going right now, if you wanted to think about smart contract platforms. And of course, Bitcoin being the store of value, then Ethereum, EOS, Cardano, Binance, all these others running smart contract platforms, but those all clearing through Ethereum, and Ethereum being the main smart contract platform that covers all this information. That's probably the way it's going. The other thing that's happening right now is that people love proof of work. Even though it's slow, it's expensive, for some reason, the mindset of today's people that are interested in developing tokens, interested in developing on these blockchains, love the idea of proof of work. Proof of work being that there is some competition for building the block. A mathematical formula, a mathematical problem being solved, all this that goes into building these blocks. They don't like pre-selected block makers, block producers. For some reason, people are very uninterested in that. Even though Ethereum says they're going that direction with 2.0, I say still the proof of work concept is more loved than the proof of stake concept, which is EOS, Dan Larimer proof of stake, where you have to stake your tokens in order to become a block producer or build a block. So two things are strongly influencing this market. Number one is just the overall personality and power of a Vitalik Buterin. And the second thing is that people do love the proof of work concept more than they love the proof of stake. Proof of stake seems a little bit too controlled, too centralized. People don't like it. 24 pre-selected block producers, that's not the blockchain. Blockchain should be a competition. Blockchain should be thrown out to anybody that has a computer that can get on, that's willing to throw some computing power at the blockchain. That's what blockchain is. It's kind of like, we don't want these 24, 22, 21 people doing this. We want these random people throughout the world that anybody can join if they want to join. So I think that's a problem. So we've got Vitalik, the power of Vitalik. We have the block producers being centralized, and we just have overall Ethereum was first to market. You know, they were the first idea to have a smart contract blockchain. So they initiated the idea. They were the first ones to get it developed and going and all this other stuff. So that's where we're going. I think if you have to look out right now from what we have to look at, you're looking at Bitcoin as this proof of store value blockchain, and you're looking at Ethereum as basically smart contract. So where does that leave EOS? Well, we're going to talk about that, because obviously, as someone running on the EOS blockchain and as someone who's built a channel around it and spent a couple years of my life interested in it, I want to know too where it's going and what's going on with it, and how if it has any future, or if it's just a dead blockchain, and maybe we should just run our application and see where it goes, and just really not put much more time or money into it. And that's what I want to discuss today. I want to talk about that, because there's a lot of people that watch my channel that have invested in this digital coin. They're interested in it and they want to know where it's going. So let's talk about that. First of all, I want to talk about why it seems that EOS is kind of struggling here at 25. And I'd say the number one reason why is because EOS has come under the authority of the Securities and Exchange Commission of the U.S. federal government by entering into an agreement with them for a waiver. And they're the only ones that have been given this waiver. And by them giving them a waiver, everybody's so, yeah, well, EOS got a waiver from the Securities and Exchange Commission. They got a waiver, but no one knows exactly what the conditions of the waiver are. And from my interaction and talking with some of the block producers is that EOS has been a little bit hindered in the information they can release and how they can proceed by this agreement that they've made with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Now granted, there's two parts of this. One of is that they're never going to be taken to court like Ripple and XRP is being in a litigated suit right now, where they're going to have to settle. And there's a guy, I've referred to him quite a bit in my channel before. He's a lawyer that's covering the Ripple lawsuit, the XRP lawsuit. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is a joke. And I'm not to disparage lawyers or the system or anything like that, but it's all a joke. It's just a way to draw things out, make lawyers and law firms and lots of money, and it's all going to eventually end up in a settlement. And they're all going to just sit around and pontificate and hash this out and tear it apart and rip it apart and think about it and build legislation around it and all this other kind of stuff. And the XRP and the Ripple people are going to be hung out to dry through all this process. They're the people that are going to decide how everything proceeds with blockchain, because this whole thing is going to be dissected by these people that don't understand blockchain. They don't understand smart contracts. They don't understand it. They're people that understand, legislation and law. They don't understand the way the internet works. They don't understand the way blockchain works. And this is the people that are going to dissect it. Just like the Howey test is testing today's technology. Howey test is about an orange grove in the 1930s and 40s. It's not about blockchain and about technology. They're taking this because they don't have anything better. They're taking this outdated Supreme Court case from way long time ago, like I say, the 30s and 40s, and they're trying to apply it to today's world because they don't have any other way to do it. I mean, one of the things that's really frustrating to me is even like a person like Michael Saylor and Elon Musk that are gravitating towards blockchain, Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin for their own companies, still say outrageous things about the blockchain, still say outrageous things about the way this technology works. meaning to me that they don't really understand it. Even though they're smart people, but they got a lot on their plate. They're both running companies. They both have, a lot of other things going on. To me, neither one of them really get it. They just don't get it. They just don't really understand it. They kind of dabble in it, and they like Elon, he likes to push the market around with his little, tweets here and there. But in the scheme of things, I don't think he really understands blockchain. I don't think he understands Bitcoin. I don't think he understands anything. I just think he saw this. He realizes that there's massive inflation coming. There's stimulus coming. The U.S. dollar is being depreciated quickly, and he's just looking for some other way of protecting himself. And this is Bitcoin is an idea that someone to come up with. So here we go. So he's just kind of playing around with this, and I don't think he fully understands it. So if you got a guy like Elon Musk, who's an innovator, who's pretty smart, who is a technology guy, and he doesn't understand it, how are all these lawyers and all these people that are litigating this Ripple and XRP case going to decide it? They're not. They're just going to sit there and they're just going to rip it apart. And at the end of the day, after millions and millions and millions of dollars are spent with lawyers who don't know anything about blockchain, who don't care about anything about blockchain, but just care about depleting as much resources as they can, they're going to come to some sort of a settlement, which should have been done from the very beginning. There should have just been a settlement from the very beginning. They should have never gone through all this. You got to file. First thing you got to file a complaint against XRP. XRP's got to answer the complaint. Then they got to file motions to decide how to proceed, and then XRP. And I've listened to some of this stuff. XRP's answers to the complaints, and they're going back and forth, and this will go on for a long time. And then, like I say, it'll just deplete resources, and finally you get to the end of the day, everybody's tired of fighting. And some sort of settlement's going to be made, and XRP is going to be allowed to proceed, but there's going to be lots of money be gone, and everybody's going to be worse off for it. So, and they're going to come up with some, twisted, shabbily assembled legislation to kind of, decide what's going on and where it's going to go. So that's what EOS is able to avoid. That long, drawn out, high cost process of coming up with this agreement that is already been done with EOS. And as far as EOS is concerned, they did the correct thing, in my opinion. Everything up to this point, in my opinion, EOS has done correctly. They've come up with a blockchain that has the ability to run transactions very quickly. They've settled with the SEC. They raised a lot of money. I mean, they've done everything pretty well as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not worried about EOS and the market perception about EOS, because I see the direction it's taking. I see the fact that they have settled with the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is a very, very, right now with the new Gensler coming in and legislation probably coming about from the XRP thing, is a very valuable thing to have already behind you, is the conclusion to agreement with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The market isn't even considering that. I mean, I don't think people have thought that far. I mean, they just look at a picture of Vitalik and they look at a picture of Dan and they make a decision and they buy Ethereum. And they say, oh, well, everybody knows about Ethereum. I hear Ethereum about everybody. But nobody ever considers the details. And the details is EOS has already gotten a pass from one of the major regulation bodies in the world, which is the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. So they've already passed that hurdle. And that should be valued into this number 25 spot of the thing. The other thing I want to talk about is the fact that I want to look at the block producers here real quick. The fact that we have a significant player, probably the largest, most in my opinion, the most significant, most powerful company in the world, which is Google. You can argue whatever you want to argue, but I think Google, as far as their overall world, the global picture of Google, I think they're probably the most substantial, the most powerful, the most influential company in the world, is invested in the EOS blockchain. But why aren't they doing anything? I think, what did I say? They were number 80, right here. So this is what's going on with Google. This is Google themselves as a block producer in good old blocks. Thanks. In producing blocks. Why isn't Google moving up? Why are they so far back? Why doesn't it seem like they're running a node? What's going on with Google? Well, I'll tell you. This is what I hear. Google is building history. So Google came on board after the chain is launched. So they need to go back and reconstruct everything up until this point in time, because they want to be the archivist for the EOS blockchain. So they have every transaction and they have everything running up to speed, up to date. And this is what they're doing right now. So this is what's going on with Google. Google hasn't really been actively block producing. They're coming on very soon. But right now they're building data and they're building history. And they haven't got that completed yet. So as soon as they get that completed and get that done, I would really expect to see Google up in the top 21 as a block producer. So given this, and I've talked about this before on this channel, given the fact that EOS has a waiver by the Securities and Exchange Commission, the fact they have Google being the archivist, building a platform, building history and building data for the EOS blockchain and making it easier to develop on the EOS blockchain, the biggest corporation, biggest company in the world is invested in this blockchain. Very important thing. Not that they're not invested in other blockchains. I know they're invested in other blockchains, but they have invested in this blockchain. So they have put some weight and some energy behind this blockchain, which to me means there is a future here. This isn't a dead blockchain. This isn't a blockchain that's going away very soon. This is a blockchain that Google has invested. Not that Google could throw away lots of money, because they could throw away more money than any of us could ever, imagine. But they are putting something into this, which to me has a significance. Why would they just waste their time in nothing? If they looked at this as a dead blockchain, they wouldn't be building resources and data and expecting for developers to come on and build an on-ramp for developers. That's what they're doing right now. They're building an on-ramp for developers. And they wouldn't be doing that if they thought this was a dead blockchain. The Securities and Exchange Commission wouldn't have settled with EOS if they thought it was a scam. They wouldn't have settled with EOS if they thought they were some nefarious organization that was out there just to scam people out of their money on an initial coin offering. They would have said right away, we do not deal with scammers. We do not deal with people that are illegitimate. We do not deal with people that do not have honesty and integrity. That would have completely made the federal government, the U.S. federal government, look like scammers. Look like, and they're not. There's too much publicity out there. There's too much stuff going on in the world today. Too much exposure for the Securities and Exchange Commission to negotiate a settlement and agreement with somebody that was totally a ripoff. So, blockchain, Google, block producers, Securities and Exchange waiver, moving forward with that. I mean, all these things are very, very important as far as this position that EOS has in the market. And of course, EOS has just kind of been rolled over by everybody else. They're not actively putting out content information right now. In fact, if anything, it's very hard to find anything that Block One's doing. They're not. There's no image to associate with Block One. Even though there's other people involved with it, it's like Dan Lerner was probably the best known, and he's gone. So who do you have to kind of like become, the image for EOS? And I think they've kind of lost that. And that's kind of why they've been thrown back here to number 25 in market cap. And that's why not too many people are talking about it. But the foundation is there for this to grow and prosper and benefit. Like I say, there's a lot of good things going on. And the other thing I'd like to cover, then I'm going to read through these comments, but the other thing I'd like to cover is that, let me go back to this, our challenge application. And I think my son is he's actually doing a live stream today too. So if you want to know more about Challenge, just jump on his live stream. He's probably either it's concluded or it's going on right now, because I saw he was started just a little bit before I did. So here we are. If you want to go, this is the DAP.com, and you can check out every application. Here's all the applications running on blockchain today, and you can look at them, and you can go by Ethereum, you can go by Tron, EOS, Steam, all these different blockchains, Wax, Hive. They have them all. But if you go just to EOS. Let's just take a look at EOS right now. These are, and I usually like to look at the social signal. Let's see. That's kind of like where I like to start out with. Of course, Hex is running on Ethereum, but that's an ad. But this is what's running on EOS right now. So let's go to social. That's where we're at. Let's see if I got all to EOS. Here's all the applications running on EOS, I think, in the last 24 hours. Let's see if I can get this set up here. Here we go. See where we're at here with the challenge application. Yeah, as far as all the applications running right now, we're running number 20 on this. We have just released version 7. It's doing very, very well. We are probably more popular in certain parts of the world than we are other parts of the world. But our application runs very smoothly on this blockchain. And it runs with very little resources. And the other thing I'd like to mention is that EOS has been tested as far as their resources are concerned. And the other thing, too, if you want to really run into a problem, just start moving money around into the Ethereum blockchain and see how many gas fees you run up. EOS is very, very inefficient, or very efficient, very efficient for running transactions and the number of transactions. And of course, this has been tested. And the way the EOS blockchain has been tested is because there was a airdrop by basically it's a spam that was called Odious. Odious. I never could say it very well. But anyway, they spammed the network for a number of months, where literally every transaction was a spam transaction. And the EOS blockchain did not break. It did not go crypto kitty. They were able to handle and tolerate the Odious spamming of the network. And they actually let it go on. And the reason they let it go on is because they wanted to test the network as far as the transactional numbers that they could handle. And it was able to come together, and the block producers were able to pull together, and they were able to handle all this volumes of transactions by Odious, and they were able to deal with that and be able to operate more correctly and get to each other and be able to streamline it and make it all work very well and communicate with one another and get it very efficient. And so EOS has been tested for the number of transactions it's been able to run by the spammers that have been able to, basically use the blockchain for their own purposes, which is spam the network. And they were able to handle that, never go down, never have a crypto kitty moment, or never be able to say, hey, we can't tolerate the traffic. They were always able to tolerate the traffic. They never gone down. They have not had a problem. So up to this point, we are very secure. The transaction is working very well. The transactions are working very well. They're flowing very smoothly. So all this together, to me, says that this 25th spot is probably more a matter of people's opinion than actual fact. It's more of a matter of people just evaluating EOS on some very important points, like Vitalik versus Dan Larimer leaving because he's a libertarian, EOS not having a lot of information put out lately because of the fact that they are under Security and Exchange Commission waiver rules, that they're trying to play by the rules. They're not putting out information without having it, all be set up and, in line with the regulations and stuff like that. All this is kind of like stirred into a pot, and you come up with the number 25 ranking. But the reality of the situation, it's the only blockchain right now that you can run an application on and not have a problem without, running ERC20 tokens and gas fees and running on the Ethereum blockchain. So even like, I see where you're talking layer 2 Matic, he's talking about Hex. Of course, I know the guy from Hex. I can't remember, he's put out a lot of videos. He's always got the candelabra behind him, and he looks like he's in a movie scene. But Hex is running on ERC20 token. They're running on the Ethereum blockchain. That's pretty much what everybody's doing. Uniswap, all this stuff is running on. But DeFi is a big part of this whole process, and I think DeFi needs a lot of speed. And for DeFi to run and run efficiently, it's going to have to run on something that runs faster than the Ethereum blockchain. And right now, the Ethereum blockchain is trying to mix proof of stake with proof of work. How that works out, I don't know. But right now, I think it's still yet to be determined how these transactions are going to be run on Ethereum with sidechains and the interoperability of that and how fast that's going to run. So I'm going to read through a few of these. Southpaw Larimer is a blockchain genius, but his project jumping is hurting his image. I totally agree. I don't understand a guy like Dan Larimer. He seems like a person that seems to have gotten caught up in a problem that he had early in life, and he's bought into a worldview that isn't very flexible. So he's, you gotta admire the guy. He stands behind his values, but you gotta wonder about how much one person's ideas influence everybody else, and how much you should maybe be a little bit more flexible sometimes. One person is just one person. They can be wrong. So yeah, I mean, he seems like a smart guy, and I don't know what's going to happen if he's going to come up with any more. I think at this point with EOS, he's probably done, but he's probably made enough money to be done. So good, no one's going to worry about Dan. He's probably taking care of Dan pretty well. So Dan's Dan. And, he's a brilliant guy. He's a guy that made this blockchain, and it's a pretty good blockchain, works pretty well for us. So, we can't complain about what Dan has done. We're actually, I'm a very much of a follower of Dan Larimer, and a very much someone that finds his work to be very valuable. So yeah, I'm a big follower of Dan Larimer. I like Dan Larimer. I talked to him, and I think I put that. I have it on the thing. He's a personable person, very nice guy. I liked him. He seemed like a nice guy. Just that he's got these ideas that libertarianism, and you can't, be mixed up with the world too much. You got to be somewhat independent and everything like that, and that's great. I understand that too. But we're coming into a world now where it's good interconnectivity, and you're going to have to work with the regulators and the people that are, in a position of authority over you. I mean, that's part of the world too, is working under the authority system that you're under. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's a government entities out there you're not going to escape, even with blockchain. So that's what it is. Okay, yes, you can buy CHL on Nudex. Nudex is a decentralized exchange running on the EOS blockchain. It's probably one of the more successful applications. Where is it at? I've got to type it in right first. It's probably one of the more successful exchanges, decentralized exchanges, and it is running on EOS, and I think it's doing pretty well. I mean, it looks to me like they're advancing. It looks to me like their interface is getting better. They're getting better with how fast the transactions, or not how fast, but how efficient it's run. So yeah, this is a pretty good exchange for people that want to, trade. And we trade on this. Let's see where we are at today. I'm looking for us. Scrolling down. I never know. Sometimes I miss this. Looks like I'm missing it right now. Yeah, right here we are. No, we're up here. Okay, we're up 15% today, so here we are. So actually pretty good day for challenge token. We're up 15.94%. This is the trading. The last trade was at 3 zeros, or is it 4 zeros? I can't see. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So that was down. So yeah, I mean, we're just kind of trading in a range right now. Like I say, it's an application with a lot of users, so we're growing every single day. I think the future's bright. You have to, you have to be able to build in order to grow. So that's what we're doing. We're growing and building at the same time. So let me see what else. I got quite a few people who have commented here. So, okay, so back to Michael. DeFi is what crypto was intended to achieve for the sovereign, no KYC. Yes, I agree. DeFi will run on Flare. I'm not that familiar with Flare. Is Flare EOS 20 token, or is Flare running on Ethereum? Blue Sky 77, give me some more information about Flare. I'm not familiar with it. just like EOS was spammed. Yeah, just for CPU. I shorted Cardano based on those facts. The Chads don't care about facts. That's correct. The Chads, they don't care about facts. I agree. I totally agree. Layer 2-matic quick swap, Z-swap, working mint through. Okay. EOS was ready going to $6, but the market had to crash. EOS has all the luck. More patience is needed. I totally agree. OMA1Gamer. What chases channels? Okay. So Dan's new project has an OS on the end of it. Interesting. Basically, I don't know what Dan's doing. I haven't followed him. Michael.eos. Okay. Haskell Cardano versus C++ EOS. I think we know where the devs will go. Paul Young Jr. Okay. Yeah, I don't think anybody likes C++. $7.2 trillion use case by making the certificates deposit and coding it on blockchain. Complete product, not projects. Okay. Not dead, just under the radar. I totally agree, Paul Young Jr. EOS should be 10 effing bucks by now. I agree. 10 effing bucks by now. Good old blocks.io. I'm reading comments right now if you want to know what I'm doing. You don't have to understand the combustible engine to buy a car. Isn't a tool tech for mobility use case is more important. Okay, that's an interesting by NOA star. I kind of think of EOS as the electric car in the fact that the electric car, if anybody knows the history of the electric car, I think the electric car is probably around before the combustible engine. Or probably very close in the 1800s, mid-1800s. So nobody took on the electric industry car business. It just ended up being a nowhere thing. In fact, I think probably in the petrodollar days of oil and energy, it was probably politically incorrect, and not only politically incorrect, the government's probably kept it from happening, creating electric cars. Although the electric car technology is better than the combustible engine technology, and you're seeing that today, because the electric car fits better with technology, because it fits better with satellites, it fits better with autonomous driving, it fits better with the electrical car are a better match than combustible engine car and fossil fuels and pollution and global warming and all this other stuff. So you can see where that technology is. I kind of look at that as proof of work versus proof of stake. The proof of work is more like the combustible engine. The proof of stake is more like the electric car. The electric car eventually will win the battle because it fits in with green technology. It fits in with driverless cars. It fits in from, thank you. I appreciate that, Paul. Nice. I really appreciate it. $10. I think one of the first super chats I've ever gotten. Nobody ever feels sorry for me, I guess. I don't ever get any support, but that's okay. It's all in the process of moving forward and going up. That's what it's about. So we are in the process of building. Yes, I have 5,000 subscribers. Yes, I've been at this for a few years. Yes, EOS is 25th in blockchain capitalization. Yes, our token is trading for hundreds of a penny. But that's where everybody starts. Everybody starts very at the bottom. That's the whole definition of starting. Trying to build something from nothing. And that's what we've been doing, and that's what EOS has been doing. That's what the smart technology is about. That's what Elon Musk did with the electric car. He basically started Telos in a warehouse with a few people trying to use his PayPal money to go up against the Goliaths of Ford and General Motors and Mercedes and Audi and everybody, all the other car makers. And look where he's at today. He's probably the richest guy on the face of the earth, and everybody listens to Elon. He's got, every time he tweets, people listen to him. He started from, a warehouse with an idea of a Tesla car. So we all start from literally nothing, but we have to measure our time, measure our energies, and measure our resources, and try to do the best we can. And that's what we're doing. And that's why we're moving forward, and that's why we're not thinking that this is a dead end road, like I started the stream with. This is not dead end. There's a lot of things to be very positive about. And I know if you're holding the EOS token and you're looking at the trading of it, and you're seeing all these other tokens surpass it with more volume, more market capitalization, more interest, more even Dogecoin, you're kind of getting disappointed. But I'm sorry, that's the way the world operates. It doesn't operate where everything just happens immediately and happens laugh out loud, Dogecoin. I was a big fan and an active promoter once the very beginning to even mining it. Moved on after and constant cashed out whenever it rallied. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing Dogecoin at the very beginning too. I mean, I was wondering what was going on, but they were early adopters. I mean, they were up. I think they've been up for a long, long time, 2012, something like that. So and look at what they are. They're basically store values from what I can understand about it, and it's $1.5 billion market cap. So that shows you what early adoption or early movers status will get you. It'll get you right to the top. So, and I've been talking all this time, and I really haven't talked about Bitcoin. I did change the channel name from EOS San Diego to EOS Bitcoin San Diego because I do want to talk quite a bit more about Bitcoin. I'm a big, strong believer in Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin probably will clear the $100,000 mark here in the very near future. It's kind of trading in a range. It does that. It'll run up big, then it'll come back and it'll trade within a range and it'll run up again. I think we got support around $48,000, $49,000. I see it breaking through 50 pretty quick again. And then once it breaks through 50, probably trade in that range for a while, and then it'll be up and out of here. Maybe 60, 70, 80, close to 100. Few of my buds couldn't even remember where their stash that now kept worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's the thing about blockchain. Yeah. That's why, you know, the you got to be careful if you have the hardware wallets. You know, and I think that as blockchain becomes more, I mean, that's the world that we're living in today. You have the people that got on blockchain because they wanted to be anonymous. They kept the hardware wallet. They keep their private keys. They don't trade their crypto. They put it in a stash, and you know, hopefully they have a way to recover something if they lose it, or if something happens to them. You know, the people that they want to have those resources can have access to them. Because a lot of people, if you pass away and you say, well, here's my private key, most people wouldn't even know what to do with it. They wouldn't even know what it is because it's not that widely known how to use the blockchain. So yeah, the private key is very important. Make sure you got everything on a easy way to understand it. Everything well recorded and documented, because there's too many horror stories about people losing private keys. And that's another good point. There's been a lot of lost Bitcoin. I know 21 million Bitcoin is all that's ever going to be mined somewhere in the future, in the next few years. But keep in mind that there's a lot of that Bitcoin that doesn't exist anymore and never will exist, including the million Bitcoin that belong to Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever Satoshi Nakamoto is. I don't know. Nobody will know. It's a mystery yet to be solved. It will probably never be solved. I think it works to the Bitcoin benefit. The fact that there's a history of Bitcoin is unknown. The origin of Bitcoin is unknown. The people that developed it and thought it up are unknown. Of course, we know who manages the blockchain, but we don't know who the originator is, and we'll never know who the originator is, and we'll never know if the originator was one person or a group of people. It's completely a mystery, and I think that works to Bitcoin's benefit. That there is no stamp of nation on it. It's not a Chinese idea. It's not a United States idea. It's not a Russian idea. It's not a idea coming from Japan or any other place. We don't know. We don't know where it is. Satoshi Nakamoto is a Japanese name, but as we probably know, it was a name that was a pseudonym. It was a name that was not a name that probably was the true person that created it. They use that name as just a way to identify it, but not who the person is. So we don't know. We don't know who Satoshi is. We don't know any of that. So that's probably, like I say, works in the blockchain's favor. Probably works in Bitcoin's favor either. Unlikely, EOS is a bust project for now. I completely agree. Anybody, and I had a long discussion with one of the block producers, and he will come on here. I won't identify him right now, but he will be on here in the near future, hopefully. And he's completely bullish on EOS, and they're block producers, and they were the top block producer for a number of years. For maybe well over a year, maybe 2 years. So I had a long discussion yesterday with him. They are very bullish on EOS. They are very bullish on where they're going and what they're doing, and they are very well connected, much more connected than I am. So EOS is, I think, a good deal right now. And I've been saying that for a long time. And of course, for a lot of people that have been watching me for a while, say, he sounds like a broken record. Every time he talks about EOS, he's always telling you what a great deal it is. And all it ever does is set around the $2-3 range. And I'm sorry about that. I'm not God. I don't predict the future. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not in touch with, the supernatural that can tell you where things are going. If you want that, you're going to have to find somebody that does, what do they call that? Where they can project themselves into the future. You need to follow those people, because that's not me. I don't know what the future is. I have no idea. All I can tell you is what the fundamentals are. If you want to look at the fundamentals, I'm your guy. If you want to look at somebody that can project the future, I'm not your guy. I don't know what the future is. The fundamentals I know because right here, this is why I know the fundamentals. You have to believe me on this. We are running this application. Right here, the challenge application. This is actually something that we put our every day into running, and we're running on the EOS blockchain. We interact with it on a daily basis. We buy resources. We have resources running. We have an application, a front end, runs in the App Store, runs in the Google Play Store. We interact with users every single day. We have a very lively Telegram channel with lots of people on there all the time talking about it. We're running challenges all the time. So those are the fundamentals that I know about. And I know that we're running on a blockchain. We have a couple smart contracts going on them, 2 smart contracts, by the way, running on a blockchain. Challenge DAC, which is running the smart contracts, and then Challenge U, which is running the application. So yeah, I know those. I know we're running, and I know it's working. That's what I know. Where this price is going, I don't know. I do believe, though, that as Bitcoin becomes more widely accepted, so will the smart contract platforms, because the smart contract platforms are easy ways to decentralize an application or decentralize to give people access to a lot of content and information. And I think that's going to be the way of the future. You're not going to have centralized systems as much anymore. They're going to have to be decentralized, because we're on a more of a worldwide platform than we are in the past. Google can run from their servers, Facebook can run from their servers, but I think in the future that's going to be more decentralized, and I think the blockchain's a good way of doing it. And I think everybody is starting to come to that conclusion, but they just haven't figured out how it's going to happen. And there's a lot of possibilities out there, and we don't know which one's going to win out. Right now, like I said, Ethereum and the ERC20 token's probably going to win out with sidechains, but that could flip in the near future. You see a lot of things change. It's like there's this guy, and I can't stand the guy. Here, I'll bring him up. He's this guy right here. I cannot stand this guy. Okay, this guy right here. He talks out of his ass all the time. His name's Kevin O'Leary. Anyway, I don't even know what this guy did. I don't even follow him. I don't even know what this guy did. I think he made some sort of children's program, like Hooked on Phonics or something like that. And I could be totally wrong, because I don't know. But he had some sort of program, then he got it on, one of these, places where people would, could buy, telemark. I don't know what it is, but he got marketed, and it was I don't know what he does. I don't even know what he does. But anyway, he got to be worth a lot of money. Just like Mark Cuban got to be worth a lot of money by selling broadcast.com, which was basically a failed project. So this guy's another guy just like Mark Cuban. He's got himself rich by doing something where he really, really, really got very fortunate. Okay? So he's been talking down Bitcoin. Bitcoin's terrible. Bitcoin's awful. Hate Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the biggest piece of garbage in the world. Well, now I see where the guy's flipped. And now he's starting to buy Bitcoin. If my internet research is correct. Okay, so this guy, I've heard him so bash Bitcoin. Just totally hate on Bitcoin. Now look what he says. Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary has changed his mind on Bitcoin, saying ETFs have drawn him to the asset he once called garbage. I think he called it garbage one time, just to try to be cute. The Shark Tank star is now planning to put 3% of his portfolio into the world's biggest cryptocurrency, says Bitcoin ETFs and inflation worries have prompted his change of heart. So you look what happened. Here's a mainstream dude. He's on this Shark Tank show that I've never watched because I can't stand the people on there. Because they actually are standing in judgment of other people's ideas, where these guys just got lucky. I mean, Cuban, if you ever follow Cuban's story, it's just... Cuban is the luckiest human being not only in this time, probably in the history of time. I mean, as far as that broadcast.com and the idea and how it was sold to Yahoo, and Yahoo paid him billions of dollars, and then basically didn't do anything with it. And it just dried up on the vine, but the guy walked away with a couple $2 billion. This Kevin O'Leary is the same way. And these guys sit there and somebody comes on with some idea, some young mother with an idea, and these guys sit there and they pick it apart. You know, who are they to pick anything apart? This guy flips on Bitcoin. And he just, like, 1 second he's telling you it's garbage, the next second he says it's a good idea. So this is what's going on in the world today. Things are starting to come this direction. It's starting to come to Bitcoin. I remember a couple of years ago when you couldn't even run an ad on Facebook or YouTube for cryptocurrencies, because they said that it was, something that was... what was basically their idea of cryptocurrencies? Cryptocurrencies were basically a scam, a way to steal people's money. So they disallowed any kind of advertising for cryptocurrencies. And now look where we're at today. You got Elon Musk. You got Michael Saylor. You got a lot of the people on Wall Street. You got ETFs going on. You got massive amounts of money. You got Bitcoin at 10 times what it was a few months ago. I remember when Bitcoin was a few $1,000s, $4,000 or $5,000. Now, what is it today? It's almost 50,000. So you have probably the greatest, the best. I mean, let me see what I own Tesla stock too, but let me see what Tesla stock's doing right now. Yesterday it was down. Let me check it real quick. I got it on my phone. I gotta see where Tesla's at. But I don't think Tesla is done as well as Bitcoin. Yeah, it's down a little bit today. Where's Tesla? So the overall market thinks down a little bit today. But anyway, you got Bitcoin skyrocketing. You got Tesla and these other stocks that were rock stars on the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange and all these other stock exchanges, and they're all pretty much as high as they can get. And you got Bitcoin with all the room to grow in the world. So where are we going? Are we going to fiat currencies? Are we going to cryptocurrencies? Are we going to massive debt, stimulus, and inflation? Or are we going to transition to a digital economy? I mean, everybody has to ask themselves this question. If you're going to exist in the world today, if you're going to consume resources, if you need to live, you need to buy a home, you need to buy food, clothing, you need to have comfort, you're going to have to make your decision. Whether you want to go to the cryptocurrencies or you want to go to, the debt-based fiat currencies that are just going to become less valuable every day. I mean, you look at this, and I'm not a political person. I could really care less who the president of the United States is. I mean, I get annoyed by certain people. Donald Trump annoys me. I don't necessarily dislike Donald Trump, but he annoys me. I think he's somebody that has a huge ego. I think he could probably make his life a lot easier if he didn't say such outrageous things. And I think sometimes he's one of these, he's like your uncle that just likes to sit there and say really crazy things to people to get reactions. I mean, that's Donald Trump. He wants to just get reactions. He loves reactions. The more people talk about him in media, the more he likes it, the more he can say something rude or nasty, or the more he can make someone mad, the more publicity he gets. And that's Donald Trump. That's who he is. And that's why for me, he's irritating. Joe Biden, I have no feelings about Joe Biden. Seems like a nice guy. He seems like he's had a few bad things happen to him in life. I think he had a son that died of cancer. His wife passed away. He was killed in a car accident. Seems like he's had a little more difficulties in life than Donald Trump. and he seems like a nice guy, but he seems like he's wanting to pass a lot of stimulus plans, a lot of things that are going to make the dollar inflate, a lot of things that are going to create a lot more inflation and problems in the world. And he wants to fix the world by being the generous guy. He wants to be the guy that comes in and gives you the $1,400 stimulus money. But is he the guy to bring us back to a full, robust economy that has everybody in the place they want to be, where they're getting the jobs and the money and everything? I don't know. Okay, here we got a comment. I want to read it. I dumped all my EOS for DOT, ADA, Ethereum. Helped recoup all my lost holdings, ETA, ADA. Has a better chance to profit. And that was and person is KENUIK Nano. Okay. You made the right decision, my friend, by dumping your EOS and buying those other coins. You can't argue with that. That was the correct decision to make. And I'll be really honest with people. I bought a lot of EOS when Google came aboard too. I thought, wow, Google's coming aboard as block producers. The dominoes are going to fall. Facebook will be next. We're going to have the 21 inhabited by top tech companies, and then this is going to be, people are going to trust it because Google's a block producer, or Facebook are block producers. And I bought a bunch of EOS thinking this is going to take off. Well, guess what? It went up a little bit, then it went back. And I sold it. I bought the EOS and I sold the EOS because I pretty much thrown money from Bitcoin into EOS, thinking that EOS was going to take off after block producer. Google was mentioned as block producer, but it didn't happen. So I did a reversal too, and that was the correct move for now. Now, what are you going to do for the next 5 years? And I'm going to say right now, if I had to stick money into one of the two blockchains for the next 5 years, not a lot, but something I could live without for the next 5 years, money that I could live without for the next 5 years, I don't have to worry about it. I would tend to be an EOS player more than an Ethereum player. Even though I think, and I've stated here earlier on the stream, I think it's probably going the Ethereum direction. But if I were going to put my money on a play, I'd probably play EOS for the reasons I've been talking about in this stream. Not for, like I say, what I think is probably going to happen based on what other people are doing. And what other people are doing is the Ethereum way. EOS, the ERC20 token, sidechain running on, clearing every transaction on Ethereum being the main chain. And I think that's, if you have to look at what's happening now, that's the way it's going to go. But if I have to look out over the next 5 years, I'd probably say EOS is going to be a player. Are they going away? No, they're not going away. They run applications. We're running on it. Of course, we're open to running on other blockchains. So, but for now, we are still running on the EOS blockchain, and as long as the resources don't get too out of hand, I think we're going to continue. Not to mention the fact, and I haven't even brought this up during the stream, that Block One, who is the parent company of the EOS blockchain, I think, and I'm pretty sure has bought a lot of Bitcoin. So they're one of the largest holders of Bitcoin. So you have the parent company, which has a vested interest. I think they have 1 billion. How many tokens does Block One have? 100 million tokens, I believe. My memory serves me. So EOS, you got 100 million tokens owned by Block One, who has one of the largest holdings of Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin is probably one of the most valuable assets in the world today. Forget what everybody says. Forget about Peter Schiff into gold. Forget about the stock market. Forget about anything. I don't care. I'm not even going to argue this point because it's so obvious that Bitcoin is the number one most valuable asset in the world today. And the reason I'm going to make that argument is I'm going to just do it one way. What has appreciated the greatest is Bitcoin, literally going from nothing to 10,000, 40, 50, almost 50,000, over 50,000, close to $60,000 at its top. And what are people turning to? Where are people flipping right now? They're flipping to digital technologies. This guy right here, he's telling you the direction of Bitcoin. He doesn't want to be left in the dust. He doesn't want to dust. And the other guy who will probably have to give it up here pretty quick, maybe not, is Peter Schiff. always hate to type because it always makes so much noise on the keyboard when I'm done. This guy's going to have to shift pretty quick too. Peter Schiff's going to have to shift from his gold ideas, mentalities to the digital currencies and Bitcoin. And I think that right now you're going to see a tenfold increase in Bitcoin. Tenfold. So wherever Bitcoin is at today, you're going to see it 10 times where it's at today. Because I think Bitcoin's going to take over gold as in market cap. So gold has about a $10 trillion market cap. Bitcoin has about a $1 trillion market cap. I think this will be gold. Gold will be overtaken by Bitcoin. So Bitcoin probably will 10 times what it is. So it'll be close to $500,000. So, yeah, I think that's where Bitcoin's going. Bitcoin will be taking over gold in market cap as a reserve asset for the world. So gold will no longer be something people hold as a store of value. It will transition into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin will take over that market cap of $10 trillion, and it's at $1 trillion now. So yeah, I think that's where we're going with Bitcoin. Block One is a complete independent entity now. The problem is EOS. And the same person too, KENUIK Nano. I agree, but you got to understand there's liability there. And I think someone had a live stream or they had a podcast where they said that Block One does have some liability for the EOS blockchain. They can't just divorce themselves from EOS. Oh, we got our money and we run. Not to mention the fact that they still own quite a bit of tokens for the EOS token. So I don't think Block One is completely divorced from EOS. Yeah, I agree. 10 trillion. That's it. That's the number. It's 10 trillion. BTC is 10 trillion. Take it or leave it, but that's the number. Pretty much indisputable. Hard evidence that Bitcoin will overtake gold. Everybody's flipping. When you got the CEOs of major companies like Tesla, Michael Saylor with MicroStrategies, starting to buy Bitcoin for their companies, it's a done deal. I'll tell you why. Because there's fiduciary responsibilities. If you're Michael Saylor, if you're Elon Musk, you're risking your integrity, your company, everything you own, everything you work for, by investing in something like Bitcoin. I mean, if that's a flop for you and it ends up being something that is not accepted by in mainstream investors and stuff like that, you've just got egg all over your face. And not only that, you could be sued, and shareholders can say, hey, man, I bought Tesla. I didn't buy Bitcoin. What is the CEO doing? What is the board of directors doing? They're going and buying Bitcoin? I bought Tesla. I'm interested in smart green technology for cars, electric cars. I didn't put my money in this nefarious cryptocurrency, illegitimate, dark web, Silk Road technology. I wanted to invest in green electric car technology. And now you're a shareholder in Tesla. Guess what? Now you become a big investor in Bitcoin by owning the Tesla stock. Now, if that happens, these guys got serious problems. So the fact that they've been able to make that bridge, that leap, make themselves as Bitcoin investors through all their responsibilities and fiduciary responsibilities and all their connections and all the regulations and everything they have by using investor money to do that, you better bet that they know that they're going to that's a winning bet. Because if it's not a winning bet, man, they could really be just thrown out as the CEOs of their company and have personal liability for their companies, liability for shareholders. I mean, liabilities for their board of directors. Everybody, all the people that are in that decision to buy Bitcoin, they could all be responsible for this bad play if Bitcoin ends up being a flop. So I don't think Bitcoin's a flop. based on the fact that you've got people like Musk and Saylor and a bunch of others, Kevin O'Leary and all these other people that are now starting to buy Bitcoin. And not only that, it's kind of being applauded on Wall Street. So if you're buying Bitcoin right now and you're a CEO and you've got money on the books and you're buying Bitcoin right now, you're considered a smart person. You're considered a good CEO that's progressive and making good decisions. So yeah. Okay, Paul Young Jr. I stopped mining Bitcoin in 2010 because it was worth less than the electricity it cost. Yes, I mean, I think that the efficiencies of mining Bitcoin probably, that's going to improve. I mean, Janet Yellen's brought that up. She's trying to mess with Bitcoin by saying, yeah, we got electricity costs. It's not cost efficient, and she's trying to be the establishment's, answer to Bitcoin and saying, yeah, Bitcoin is not it's. But I think there's solar technology out there. There's hydroelectric technology. There's wind technology. There's a lot of ways to develop electricity to mine Bitcoin. It's not going to cause fossil fuel warming, greenhouse technology. I mean, greenhouse, causing global warming. Basically, what I'm trying to say by mining Bitcoin. I think there's going to be, and this is the direction we're taking. We're getting away from fossil fuel technology, the combustible engine technology. It's funny because I had a friend of mine in college who was a very smart person, very smart guy. I think he went into engineering, very smart, technical guy. He was complaining about the combustible engine clear back in the 1980s when I was going to school at the university. He was saying, my God, this technology of the combustible engine is so bad. He's saying it hasn't changed since the 1900s. You got a combustible engine, you got a drive shaft going back to a differential and puts tires on it. And he was complaining about it. He was going, man, this is just such bad technology. It just doesn't work very well. And I was standing on the corner the other day here in Carlsbad, and of course the weather's starting to get nice, and you got the cars going by, and you got the motorcycles going by, and you got the roar of the engines. Everybody around here seems to have those Mustang. The Mustang, the pingy motor, the ping. I cannot stand that sound of that Mustang motor. If you're like the Mustang and you drive the Mustang, I'm sorry, I just don't like the sound of that motor. It sounds like a high-pitched lawnmower. I don't know what it sounds like. I'm more of the old Mopar V8, kind of blah 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 sound than that high. But anyways, and get back to my point. As I'm standing on a corner and I'm listening to all these cars go by, I'm thinking to myself, man, this is a lot of noise. And not only that, I had a bus come by and it was streaming a bunch of, exhaust. And I'm standing, I'm thinking, it really is technology of the future, the electric technology. I remember the first time I ever got into a Tesla car years and years ago. I was standing in the car. It was actually waiting for a ride for somebody to take us to a hotel. And this person that was supposed to pick us up from LA had a Tesla car, and I didn't even know that they had a Tesla car. And I'm standing on a corner waiting for this person to pick us up. And all of a sudden, I hear that I kind of feel, the air move, like a rush of movement of air around me. And I'm thinking, it's kind of like, I didn't hear anything. I turn around, there's the car. And then we climb in the car, I get in the back seat, and he's got the big screen. This is like 2012. I mean, early Model S years. And he's got the big screen, and he's got the electric car, and it starts to take off, and it just whoosh. And he takes off, and I'm talking to the guy, and he's telling me how this is such a fast car. It's electric technology. And it's the first time I've ever been in a Tesla. I didn't know anything about it. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is, and I understand, technology. I see how the internet works, and I'm thinking, you got a car that's online. It's a smart car, just like a smartphone. It's, it could be driverless. Of course, back then it wasn't, but, it had started to evolve the technology of the combustible motor and pollution and greenhouse warming and thing like that. Now it's electric and it's online. It can tell you where it's at. And I was right away, I could see the transition was going to take place just because I could experience it and see it. So that's where we're going. It's going to technology of the future. And, when I was standing on the corner and listening to all the combustible motors and the engines and the loudness and the sounds and things like that, I think, wow, this is really going to start to change in the future. And that's the direction we're going. So Jamie Dimon or something. Let me see. Let me read back a couple. Not just that, the longtime anti-BTC chat who will fire his staff torching BTC as bank acquires it quietly, then caught. Yeah, laugh out loud. Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, BTC will probably be worth 10 trillion this cycle. Who knows where BTC is going to go? I don't know where it's going to go. I think it's going to eclipse the first thing it's going to eclipse. It's going to eclipse gold, and I don't even know where the silver market's at. But gold, silver will go back to what they or purposes are. Is there's an industrial use for gold and silver, and there's also a value as far as jewelry is concerned. So people love to wear gold jewelry. People love the beauty of it. It's a beautiful metal. It'll continue to have its use as ornamental as people wear it. It'll continue to have its use in your iPhone. You know, your iPhone has some gold in it. So those will continue to be the reasons for the use of gold. But for a store value, no, it's done. It's not easily transferred. It doesn't go online. The value of gold is depreciating. Not depreciating, but it's becoming less used on a daily basis, especially when you see how liquid, movable, and transferable something like BTC is. So I agree. It's over with. So okay, so Tim Lampert. Let's see. Besides Flare going bridge blockchain as far as smart contracts. Yeah, Tim, give me some more information on Flare. Let's just take let me see Flare in here someplace. I'm not familiar with Flare. I'm sorry. I don't follow every blockchain. There's just too many. Let's see if Flare. I don't even know how. Or is Flare even a blockchain? Let's take a look. The Flare blockchain. Flare network. Circling. Okay, it's closing this circle on XRP. Flare interoperability. The Flare not worked. Tim, help me out. What is Flare? So I don't have to read through all this and bore everybody with this. Okay, Flare is a new blockchain network based on Flare Consensus Protocol, the first Turing complete federated Byzantine agreement protocol. EGLD, E-G-L-D. Yes, sir. Okay, I'll take a look at it. Let me finish here with Flare, though. Okay, does Flare... I'm just trying to figure out what Flare's doing. I don't think you're pushing your luck, Paul. Not with BTC. BTC is pretty stable. I think the reason you're not pushing your luck... Don't whatever you have in BTC, don't sell it. That'd be my advice. Don't ever sell BTC. Okay, yeah, so Flare is a smart contract platform. I'm just trying to figure out if Flare is running on okay, okay, so it looks like it's okay. It's proof of stake. Yeah, you're gonna have to fill me in on. I don't want to, sit here and read all this stuff on Flare, but I'm happy if people want to throw something out in the chat that I'll take a look at it and we'll talk about it. I mean, we do that with Challenge quite a bit. We'll interrupt somebody's live stream with a challenge application question, and people say, "Oh, shitcoin, terrible shitcoin. Ah, shit, don't do." They don't even look at it. They just automatically assume that it's somebody out there spamming them, and they don't even see it. They don't look at it, and they won't look at it. They just sit there and they shill their thing. I'm not shilling anything. The only thing I'm shilling is the things that I am interested in. I mean, I'm not shilling anything for money. I'm not shilling anything for, and thanks. Oh, another super chat. I appreciate it, Roy. I'm not shilling anything because I have an agenda. I'm not selling a course. I'm not pushing my YouTube channel. I never ask people to subscribe. Never ask anybody to give me a super chat, just like you just did. This is $2. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. At least someone appreciates the fact that I'm here, giving my opinion. That's all it is. It's just my opinion for whatever it's worth. But I'm not shilling anything. If I'm shilling anything, it's just to give you something to look at, which is our challenge application, our challenge token. And just go to the iOS App Store, and you can download it and check it out for yourself. And not only it's challenge EOS if you want to take a look at it. That's the only thing I'm talking about here. That's the only thing I'm not chilling because there's nothing to sell. In fact, if anything, if you go download it, you get some free crypto, and you get to see a bunch of cool challenges. That's it, and you get to see the way it operates and kind of investigate a running blockchain application, of which there's very few running in the world. I mean, there are very few. It's almost a scarcity that's as much as blockchain is talked about and as much as and thrown around in the media and stuff like that, very little is running on very little smart contract activities going on right now. And when one is actually working, that's a real rare thing to have happen. And we have one that's working. And if you want to just pick it apart. Go online and look. I'm ready for your feedback. Go download challenge application, look at it and say, hey, I don't know. I mean, we've had people do that. We've had people say, yes, it's not a use case. This doesn't work. This does blah, blah. Whatever you want to say about it. We're willing to hear what you have to say. We like that interaction. And that's what we're after. Yeah. Binance Smart Chain. Yeah, we're talking to Binance. We've been talking to Binance for the last couple of months. Binance actually contacted us about running on their blockchain. And then we've been feeding them back information for the last 2 months. But I don't know where Binance is going. I don't know what their attitude is and mentality. I mean, everybody runs on the market, market's going up or down. If the market's going up, everybody's more excited about new applications running on the chain than if the market's going down. So, but yeah, we just I'm shilling nothing. So if you have something to throw me, let me take a look at it. And so here we have BBuck Pro says, look at EGLDs. Let's take a look at it. I don't know if it's a token or what it is. Did I do that right? Oh, GLD. There we go. Wow, it's $136. Okay, what is it? Let me take a look at this real quick. It's got a $2 billion market cap. Looks like it's been trading. Let's look what it's done for the last 180 days. It's got a big peak there. Looks like it's on a little bit of a downturn. Going back up again, down again. So let's see what it is. See, here we go. I mean, here's something that's got a $2 billion market cap. Trades for $136 a token. And if I've seen it before, I think I have seen this before, but let me take a look at it and see if I can find out some more information. I'm looking at this. It's called Elrond. Is it a side chain? Give me some more help here. Debak. Tell me what this is that I'm looking at. It's got some Forbes, Inc., Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance. Although Yahoo, I wouldn't give them much credibility, but ever since Yahoo bought Mark Cuban's $2 billion disaster, I haven't given much faith in Yahoo, even though that's a long time ago. It's 20 years ago. Okay, it's a staking. Oh, that's another thing. EOS will be doing more staking. So what's going to happen with EOS in the very near future as far as resources are concerned is you're going to be able to stake, get a piece of the resources that people are using to run applications, and you'll be able to get that return back from EOS by staking your tokens. And they'll have ways of staking tokens for a long term. So that's another thing that's getting ready to happen with EOS is a staking platform to give you more return on holding your tokens. So no, I have heard of Hendra Hashgraph. Thanks, Crypto Scott. I have heard of that one. Hedron Hashgraph. I have. Don't know much about it. If you want to fill me in, I'll be happy to take a look at it. Okay, so sometimes with these blockchains, like Cardano and some of these others, they're still in beta phase. They're still yet to be launched. And I don't know what's going on with this one or not, if this has actually been launched. So I don't know. We got validators going on here. We got developers. We got business. But do we have a chain? Is the chain running? Yes, I agree. And see, this is the thing. And I mean, man, I'm telling you, from a developer point of view, side chains and interoperability is not as easy as you think. There's so many chains running right now that are supposed to be interconnected to other chains. And that's not the easiest thing to do. There's a lot of things that have to work and play in order to do that. And this is a big thing that's going to have to happen. Yeah, H bar is still in baby phase. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless the blockchain is up and running, it's really hard to evaluate it to see what's transactional speed. I mean, I always go to, when I'm trying to figure out if a blockchain's viable or not, I just go to, trying to think of the name of the website that does the, oh, thanks, Paul. Hey, how's it? And my good friend Paul in Las Vegas. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it, Paul. Thanks. Let's see what you got to say. From Paul in Las Vegas. Hold on to my EOS with calcified hands. With Barnacles Kent, what's your thoughts on SOV Sovereign Coin? Have a cup of coffee on me. Well, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. Hopefully I get to Las Vegas here sometime in the near future. I go to Las Vegas quite often. I love Las Vegas. My daughter loves it too, so we have a good time there. So I don't know what the SOV Sovereign Coin is, but I can check it out for you and get back to you on that one. But I'm trying to think of the blockchain that runs Blocktivity. Blocktivity, yeah, there we go. My mind works in strange ways. I have to, when I think about something, I have to think about it for a moment or two, and then it comes to me. It doesn't come to me instantly. So this is what I generally do when I'm thinking about blockchains. I'm looking at Blocktivity. Because, and I don't know what screen I'm on right now. Is this all Blocktivity? Where's EOS at? Oh, EOS is number 2 in Blocktivity to Telos. Wow. So that's interesting because Telos is actually running EOS software, and Telos is running lots of transactions right now. 4 million transactions versus 2 million transactions. Oh, so HBAR is here. There it is. HBAR. They are running blockchain. So who brought up HBAR? Yeah, there we are. HBAR's in the infancies, but look at HBAR is actually running transactions. They've run 6 million transactions in the last 24 hours. And they are operating. Activity. Price. So yeah. The Hendra Hashgraph. So right now, let's go back to Blocktivity again. And for all of our friends that want us to run on Telos, we will run on Telos. That's probably one of our biggest things we're going to try to do right now. But we are working our application to make sure it's super fast, works really well. People are, and see what, as challenged as an application, thing we have to focus on is, Roy, I think the challenge web page needs work on the copy. Okay. Yeah, we work on that all the time. But our main thing with challenge is gaining users. I mean, we have 5,000 unique users. We have hundreds of people on it every single day. But we need to get that to a lot bigger number. I mean, if you get 100, 200, 300, 400,000 million users, it doesn't matter. You know, people are going to come use your application because there's so many other people that are interacting with you on it, and that's what you got to do. You got to build a user base. We are running on EOS, and right now EOS handles the transactions. Like I said, EOS has been spammed by quite a few tokens on airdrops and stuff, and it's always been able to meet the demand. So if you got lots of users, you need to have a blockchain that can clear lots of transactions, and that's the EOS blockchain. Telos, which is running EOS, and then this is actually another very good thing for EOS, that the number one blockchain in Blocktivity is Telos, which is running the software from EOS. So they're very interesting. And then you got Wax in here too. And Hive. I mean, these are all Dan Larimer projects. Hive. You got Ethereum clear down here at number 11. So Ethereum is number 2 in market cap, but number 11 in Blocktivity. So these are the things I'm talking about. So Ethereum is number 11 in Blocktivity. The activity is going down. It's only got the last 1 million transactions in the last 24 hours. 1.2 million. EOS has twice as many transactions. And they kind of used to do this thing. They've changed their website a little bit. They used to kind of show where it's kind of redlining, where over the last 24 hours, if they were starting to overheat, which means too many transactions. And now they don't see that they show that right now. So usually always Ethereum was redlined. I mean, it was like the transactions were as much as it can handle. Gas fees were going, exponential. Everything was going out of whack. But, right now they're not showing that. But see, Ethereum's down here number 11. EOS is number 2. XRP is number 3. Of course, they're in a lawsuit with the SEC right now. HBAR, XLM, Deer, Nano. So this is kind of where the rubber meets the road right here. And what's up and running, what's working. I'm looking for some other blockchains people are talking about. Yeah, we have a number of people on our Telegram that are very big fans of Telos. And of course, we were going to be block producers for Telos for a while. I mean, block producers, I'm very familiar with the Telos platform. I'm very familiar. And they are moving in the right direction. We've seen some projects move over to Telos. So, yeah. I'm surprised to see Telos clearing so many transactions. This is, it's funny because you can kind of lose track of this stuff. Like, the reason I haven't put up a post for a while is because I've been first of all, we were in Arkansas because Chase, my son, who's the main idea behind the challenge token, is an MMA fighter. And he was in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, fighting a fight. So there's Chase. So he was fighting a fight in Arkansas. So we were out of the area for a little bit in Arkansas. There he is. This old coach Zeke Jones of the Arizona State wrestling program. So we were out of state with him, and then I got back, and of course I had stuff on the plate for getting ready for tax season coming up here very soon, and I just kind of neglected making videos for a little bit. And actually I had someone today, and I want to appreciate this person for sending me a message telling me I need to make a video. Where are they at? Let me see. I might have already deleted it. Whoever sent me that message, thanks. I told them I'd make a video today for them. But anyway, I had one person say, hey, I'm looking for your new video. And like I said, I've been out for a while and come back. And of course, there's not really, BTC still trading underneath 50,000, and EOS is, kind of going sideways and downhill. And then, there's not a lot going on in the market right now, not a lot of news. So yeah, I just kind of neglected making a video for a few days. So then I started looking at EOS, and I started getting a little bit concerned because I see where, some of the block producers have fallen down in the rankings. Google's not really performing very well as a block producer. The price is down. Dan Larimer's gone. Haven't heard anything as far as news is concerned. And so I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. So I made a call to a couple of people, made a call to one of the block producers, made a call to a few other people, started to try to piece together what's going on with EOS, and thought, well, I was going to make just a stand-up video like I usually do at night, but I thought there's a lot of stuff I need to talk about, and probably just come on here and let some people talk back to me a little bit to find out what the overall temperature is of what's going on with EOS. So this is the idea for this live stream today, which has been going on probably for a few hours. March, April, May is a big month for EOS. I hope so. They need a big month. The idea of smart contract blockchain still has yet to materialize. There's a guy, and everybody knows this guy. He's been around forever. I don't even know. This is a crazy dude, man. Max Kaiser. He's just a funny guy. He's a blockchain enthusiast. Oh, where's he at? This is not him. He's on RT. There he is. He's on RT, and he's on Twitter, and he's all over the place. He's mainly on YouTube. This is where I watch him. This guy basically says everything but Bitcoin is a scam. So Bitcoin is like the only legitimate blockchain in the world. Everything else, and I think that the old saying is, all altcoins are ways of getting Bitcoin. So people develop altcoins to get you to trade your Bitcoin for their altcoin. So that's the whole thing. All altcoins are manufactured, made to acquire Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is the true and only legitimate digital money, legitimate store of value, blockchain. He's basically a Bitcoin fundamentalist. He's just totally a Bitcoin, nothing else. And he doesn't even believe in Ethereum. He doesn't believe in, of course, EOS or anything. He doesn't even give him the time of day. Now, this guy claims he's been buying Bitcoin since the very beginning. I don't know how much Bitcoin he owns, but he may be very wealthy at this point in time. Because if he's buying Bitcoin for a few $100s of Bitcoin, and today it's 40,000, 50,000, he's probably done very well. But he's a funny guy. I'm sure everybody that's on here has listened to him. If you've been on YouTube at all, which is where I'm at most of the time, this is guy on YouTube's on RT, and he talks about Bitcoin. In fact, my son tells me this is the guy that got him involved with Bitcoin. So Max Kaiser is kind of the person that introduced my son, who introduced me. So yeah, we all kind of owe him a little bit of a debt of gratitude. But he's a funny guy, and he's basically only a Bitcoin guy. Doesn't believe in smart contracts. Doesn't believe in the smart contract platform. And like I say, it's yet to gain very much adoption because there's not a lot of applications running on the smart contract blockchain, Ethereum. And right now, it's just a lot of hype, and that's an issue. And that's probably one of the issues for EOS. It's just the fact that a lot of stuff hasn't materialized yet. Okay, let's see what people have to say. Why be you? Why can't be me? EOS needs to kick out the exchanges from block producer positions. Max does the orange pill cost. Pillcast. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, that's a good question. Because let's take a look at that. Let's look at who is the block producers right now. Because there are a lot of exchanges involved with the block producers. And of course, they have an unfair advantage. Because they hold the EOS. And of course, if they hold the EOS, then they hold the vote. If they hold the vote, then they hold control over the blockchain. And that's why I was really happy with Google coming aboard, because I thought Google is a big entity. The enormous and powerful Google controls most of the search in the world today, is extremely popular around the world, not only in the United States, but all over the world. Coming on board as a block producer, to me, was a huge good thing. Because Google isn't just, it's like Google has so many things that they are involved with. Them being involved with something like EOS means that they're pretty much a neutral party. They're probably there just to help development. And they're onboarding development. So in my mind, what Google is doing is they're just becoming a resource for EOS. They're not actually having a block producer reward interest. They're not, see these people, the number one makes 943 EOS a day, $4,000 a day. And EOS, which for Google would be nothing. That wouldn't even be a blip on the radar. So they're not doing it for the block producer rewards. They're probably not doing it because they have interest in the governance of EOS. They're doing it as a resource to help maintain the chain. Like I say, right now they're acquiring history. They want to have all the history acquired before they actually start running. So they're acquiring history. So they're actually seeing this as potential return for on-ramping developers into the EOS blockchain. And that's why Google's aboard. Versus an exchange, where exchange is probably gaming the system to try to get block producer rewards. And I don't know if $3,000 or $4,000 a day is a big deal for some of these exchanges, but it's definitely something that's been maintained, or the chain is being maintained by exchanges right now. If you just want to look at it right now, you got Bitfinex, you've got Nudex, you got OK Capital. I mean, these are all exchanges. You got Binance, you got you got these big ones up in exchange. Got a bunch of exchanges running these top 21 places, and that's what I said earlier in this stream, that people don't like this proof of stake concept. They like the proof of work concept. They like to know maybe somebody out on a laptop somewhere is running an Ethereum node and earning rewards for proof of work from Ethereum. Earning Ethereum for running a node on a laptop. I mean, I don't know if they're doing that right now. I don't know if you could do that. I mean, that was always what Vitalik always wanted. He wanted people around the world, independent individuals, running the chain. Well, with EOS, we don't have that. We have 21 block producers that are voted in by proof of stake, which is by holding the token. And of course, a lot of people don't want to hold their private keys. They don't want to have a hardware wallet, be responsible for that. So they leave it on an exchange, which leaves the exchange open to use all your tokens to vote for their own block producer reward position. People don't like that. Nobody's like that. That's been a centralized system. That's why I was thinking that if maybe Google comes aboard or somebody else comes aboard, that it doesn't become such a system where people are so infatuated with the fact that, oh, this person's just doing this for their own gratification, for their own monetary rewards. That it can be a little bit like, well, people trust Google with their Gmail. People trust Google with their search. People trust Google with their, their a lot of their information. Why not trust them as a block producer? Why not trust them as, and I know a lot of people say, well, they sell, people like Facebook and Google and stuff like that sell people's information and it's centralized. Well, maybe this is a way for Google to become a little decentralized by running a block producer position on a blockchain. So people don't fear Google, or better yet, people don't want to have governments take Google apart, like Microsoft. Microsoft got sued by the U.S. government. They wanted them to break off into different directions. They become a monopoly, and once they become a monopoly, then the governments get involved, and they said, hey, this is too much. You got way too much power. We want you to separate. We want to break it off. And they go to these antitrust, and they want to, so the government starts suing them because they want to break them into separate, break them into smaller units. Maybe Google's afraid of that. So if they run as a block producer and they start to decentralize a little bit on a blockchain, that might be a process of helping them become less centralized and decentralized. Maybe that's Google's interest. But I think that, them running as opposed to exchanges would probably be a good idea. So I see people are kind of speaking out about that. Yeah, and they do the exchange. That's always been a problem since day number one. Exchanges voting for themselves by holding tokens for their customers. That's been a governance problem. It's been an issue. And the other thing too, it's been a problem, is the original intent of EOS Blockchain was for the block producers to reinvest in the chain. Well, the exchanges aren't doing that. The exchanges are not reinvesting in the exchange. Early on, there were a lot of block producers that were building tools. And that was kind of the intent. Use block producer rewards for help onboarding people and producing tools. But now that this has kind of gone to the way of exchanges, that hasn't been, there hasn't been so much reinvestment back in infrastructure for the chain. That's been a problem. And that's probably been another reason why we're sitting here at 25. Instead of number 3 or 4, is because people these exchanges have not put money back into the exchange. I mean, back into the chain. They have used the rewards for their own use. But the alternative is they're trading the token. Trading the token helps to expose the token to getting more people using it. So it's a give and take thing. Okay, what is the best project now to invest and recoup losses on EOA? EOS or EOA? I don't know. EAU. EAO. I've got dyslexia today. Wax holds too much still. Paul Young Jr. That's the thing about Kent. So, hey Kent, win EOS Lambo. I don't know. Blockchain Miranda. How you doing, man? I haven't talked to you for a while. Oh yeah, you shaved your beard in this. Yeah, I grew mine. You shaved yours. So. We got Eager. Bitcoin job is to bring people into the blockchain, after which it will be worthless when the real blockchain appreciation gets adopted. Yeah, I mean it is. It's Eager. I'm sorry, can't say your name. Bitcoin is your introduction to blockchain. It's easy to get on Bitcoin. Coinbase is very easy to get on. It's been very lucrative. It's kind of easy for people to understand. It's a store of value. It has a good story. Like I say, nobody really knows the genesis of it, and it's just something that gets people going. But then you have to transition now to smart contract blockchain, which is to me, a lot of people just don't get it, including the most intelligent people in the world. So we're seeing that yet to develop. Colin is a loser. He bought high, sold low, dumped on holders. Colin is an example of what not to do in the market. Never buy high and sell low. I'm glad you brought Colin up, because I had an opportunity to meet Colin up at the San Francisco Hackathon. And you can never meet a nicer guy than Colin. Colin does crypto. I don't know what he's doing now. I don't know what his YouTube channel now is focused on. I know he's completely divested himself of EOS. In fact, not only did he divest himself of EOS, he said he sold everybody's EOS. He sold his family's EOS. He sold everybody's EOS. And he just did a complete about face on EOS. And he had a lot to lose with EOS too, because he had built himself quite a position with EOS as far as being a proxy. He was the number one proxy. So people trusted him to hold their EOS, just like an exchange. So Colin was trusted to hold EOS like an exchange and vote on the governance issues, the block producer issues and everything like that. And he completely gave that away or sold it. I don't know what happened to his... I haven't talked to Colin since he quit doing EOS. And I used to talk to him from time to time. He and I would have, little friendly chats back and forth on Telegram. And as far as I know, the guy's is honest. I think he lives down in Puerto Rico now. He's very bright, very crypto knowledgeable. Looks like he's sticking to looks like Bitcoin. So crypto is. So I don't know. Yeah, he's been away from EOS for a while, and I don't think he's coming back. And not only is Colin gone from EOS, there's been a number of other people who left EOS too. So Colin's not the only person to leave EOS. And it looks like he's three plans to fix governance on EOS. So he's trying to, what's he saying here? Brendan Bloomer talks governance. EOS, see, yeah, this is a year ago. So yeah, he's still talking EOS a year ago. But I remember watching the video where he completely divested himself of the EOS. Said he was done. Oh, he got an interview with Roger Ver. Nice. Yeah, he does a nice job with his. I always enjoyed watching Colin's videos. I really did. Oh yeah, Robert Kiyosaki. That's nice too. Robert Kiyosaki. I used to like that guy. I don't know if I like him so much anymore. Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you don't know what I'm talking about. So he's got some nice interviews going. Talk about Bitcoin here. So it looks like he's been pretty active. He's got 1 week, 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Okay, he's getting some views. He's got 25,000 subscribers. He's got 4 times the subscribers I got. 5 times. So let's read some more of your comments. Crypto Scott, will you buy Dan Larimer's new coin when it's available? I think you said you were not going to earlier. No, I'm not buying Dan's new coin. I like Dan, great admirer of Dan, but Dan is Dan. Dan will always be under the disability of his own very narrow view of the world. He can't open up his ideas. He can't open up his life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, whatever it is he says. What is it that he says? He's got some motto. I'm way too old for this stuff. For Dan and his worldview that are inflexible. And he gets, the other thing about Dan is he gets really heavily into politics. Okay, here he says, right here, he says, am I correct in understanding your proposal removal of the entire current Constitution, replacing it with one that refers to, is he talking about the U.S. Constitution? Talking about, I better not read this because I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, he's talking about EOS. I didn't think he's talking about the U.S. Constitution. I'm just scanning some stuff about EOS. I think he talks about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness or something like that. That's not a good place to find that information out. Yeah, I mean, it's just Dan's Dan. He'll do what he's doing. I'm not interested in what Dan's doing any longer. Like Colin isn't interested in EOS any longer. I'm not interested in what Dan's doing any longer. I mean, I wish him the best. I think he's a smart guy. And like I say, he probably made enough money from the EOS blockchain that he's probably not going to be worried about where he's sleeping at tonight or in the near future. Yeah, Dan is a Igor. I'm sorry. How do you pronounce your name? Igor. Dan is a crypto flirt. Could be. A big no for bailing EOS. Dan is a sociopath, and he is after your financial freedom again. Please be careful. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going down the Dan Larimer route again. What are EOS power up returns? Ooh, that's what it was. It was like they're changing their from what they're doing now with the Rex. It's be called power up, I think, is what they're calling it. So yeah, whoever said that, that's what it's called. The new way of getting resources on the EOS blockchain. It won't be from, or maybe they do the Redux. I shouldn't speak out of turn because I think this is all still in the development phase. But EOS is going to something called power up. So you'll be able to get your resources from power up. And I think the power up is based on a staking plan. So if you have EOS own the token, you can stake it in for a long term, maybe up to 10 years. And you will get returns by everybody that needs resources on the EOS blockchain. So if you need CPU and RAM, like we do every day, to run our smart contract platform, our smart contract application, you'll be able to get our cost of resources by owning the power up staking EOS platform, be able to stake your on EOS and have everybody. So in other words, your EOS has power. So by owning EOS, you actually have some resources available to you. So if you want to let somebody else borrow those resources, you can earn a return on that. So you put them on this power up platform, which in my mind, and from what I understand from talking to one of the block producers yesterday, is still being worked on. The staking plan, once you get that, you'll be able to get a return from your EOS tokens. So it'll be like getting a dividend from your EOS token, just like the Rex is now. But I think it'll be a little bit easier and streamlined to use. So that's where we're going. I didn't even know Dan Larimer is doing anything new. So, yeah, I mean, the Rex worked well for us because we could get 30 days out on resources. But if they've got something better, then we're all aboard. And this shows you that they're working on better resources for developers on EOS. They're trying to get people to develop on EOS. And of course, Google building a resource center for EOS, building history, running a node, and on-ramping people, making it very easy for people to through Google. Sorry about that. It's pronounced Edgar. There you go, Edgar. That's what's been saying. See, it's funny about that. That's what my mind says, but that's not what my mouth says. It's interesting because I speak a little Spanish, habla español, but it's hard for me to pronounce the Spanish words. So in my mind, I know how it sounds, but in my mouth, it comes out sounding differently. So I can speak Spanish in my brain, but I can't speak it with my tongue. Just like your name. I can see it, know how it sounds, but I can't pronounce it correctly. So I apologize for that, Edgar. It's Edgar. Sorry about that. I've been calling Edgar or Igor. I don't know what. You know, the thing about the English language is it's very difficult. Anybody out there that's trying to learn English, I completely understand your frustration with English. It's difficult to learn. A lot of it is memory because things don't make sense in English. Pronunciations and sounds and the way things are pronounced can be different. There's a few rules to follow, but there's always exceptions to the rules. And it's not an easy language to learn. So if you're trying to learn English, if it's your second language, then you are probably not the most happy person trying to learn English, because I understand English sucks as far as a language to learn. If you grew up with it like me, you know, you go to way of talking. You know, I learned other languages, try to learn another language. I'm not too much into other languages, but I guess I'm about 10 to 20% fluent in Spanish, according to Duolingo, which is the app I use called Duolingo. I've got about 20% of the Spanish language mastered, but it's hard for me to pronounce in Spanish. I can think it in Spanish, but I can't pronounce it. Dan has a new social media project he is planning. Give me the link, man. Send me the link. I'll take a look at it. I'm bullish on EOS. What about you? Yeah, for the short term, it's probably not going to be the big payday, and a lot of people are getting out of EOS and transitioning to other coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And of course, as someone stated earlier in the stream, that was a good move. They recouped some of the losses that they had with EOS. But if I were betting in the future, I wouldn't bet my entire money on EOS, but I would certainly be interested in throwing some money at EOS, like I've been saying for a long time. English is super easy to learn. Just like I just got into how hard it is. Now somebody says, Rico says it's easy to learn. Well, I'm glad. You are probably the exception to the rule, because most people I talk to that are learning English are very frustrated with it. I'm frustrated with it. And I grew up in the middle of the United States. I grew up in the most English-speaking area you could probably be, right smack dab center in the United States, in the center state of the United States, which is Nebraska. I grew up in Nebraska. I went to school in Nebraska. I went to Nebraska universities. And I was all around English speakers all my life, spoke English all my life, and I am frustrated with the English language. And I don't think it was easy. I still don't think it's easy. I think there's a lot of times I get frustrated with it, and I don't know what I'm saying. I mispronounce words all the time. I forget how words, the different way of saying, like there's tenses, past, present, and future tense. People screw that up all the time. I have seen so many EOS tokens. I cannot even count how many I have. Wow. Well, keep a hold of them, my friend. You may have a good day one day when these things starts to turn around. As the tide turns, I think you'll be a happy person. We may be moving up. I mean, at 25, where is it? No, that's block producers. Let's go to... Oh, I don't want to go to bookmarks. Okay, where are we at? It's number 25, I think. Yeah, yes, it's number 25. Actually having a decent day. Up 5% today. Or 7 days. Today is up 0.6%. Yeah, we've owned a lot of EOS over the years too. We use it. We have to use it. I've bought a lot of EOS, sold a lot of EOS, transitioned to EOS, transitioned from, basically I'll tell you what my two coins are that I love to hold. One is EOS and the other one is Bitcoin. I'm not too much into anything. I've had Ethereum. I did own, what else did I own? I've owned, when the thing was going strong with DeFi, I owned some of the DeFi coins. I can't even remember what they were right now. Compound. I had Compound. I owned Compound for a while. Wow. And I owned it for a lot less than it is now. So Compound's gone up since I've owned it. I think I had it like $180. I wish I should have held on to that. When was it $180? Yeah, I had it somewhere back in here, $180, $190. So yeah, I missed out on. I didn't have a lot, but I had some Compound, and I owned it around $180, $190, and I sold it. I transitioned it into Bitcoin. So that probably wasn't the worst deal in the world because Bitcoin went up too. But you never know what to choose. I mean, to me, a mainstay stable would be Bitcoin, and then of course we do EOS because of our application and our token, and then of course I think that smart contract platform, as I've been saying in the stream all along, EOS has a pretty good, I'm not saying immediately. I'm saying immediately you're going to see Ethereum probably be the smart coin platform. But as things progress, its applications need more resources and transactional speed. I think things are going to have to transition. Unless they come up with some magical way of running side chains that all clear on Ethereum. That has yet to be determined. But if they can come up with that, which is I think that's the direction it's taking, run ERC20 tokens and then having side chains and then Ethereum main chain doing all the clearing of the transactions. That's probably the way it's going. That way it doesn't have to run near as fast, and you can still keep the proof of work concept going, and people love that versus, like we talked to her earlier, the block producers, which are 21, and a lot of them are exchanges. People don't like that as well. So as long as you can understand all these different concepts going on and understand that there could be glitches in side chains and working with Ethereum, and Ethereum may never ever reach the transactional speeds it needs to work, that EOS could still be a play here. Let's see what it says about Colin. Okay, let me read what he says. Dave Adams. Don't be Colin, don't buy high and sell you. I don't know where Colin was as far as his investments are concerned. I think he's always been a Bitcoin guy. But Dan is a sociopath, and we should not promise him and his sick anarchy ideas. I mean, everybody has their own worldview. I think Dan had some... you don't know. He's a libertarian. My son's a libertarian. I don't know. I'm not a libertarian. I don't know anything about it. Rico, as long as he DeFi's space is regulated by the SEC, then EOS will be the token to go. That's true. Very good, Rico. I completely agree with you. We don't know where the SEC is going. We don't know what's going to happen with the Ripple case. Yet to be determined. All I know is people are pitching lots of money at that thing right now, and I don't know which side it's going to take. It's going to take the regulation side, or if Ripple's going to be able to kind of get some sort of independence from the Securities and Exchange Commission. Right now, EOS is completely under the Securities and Exchange Commission's control because of the agreement that they reached. They took the path of working under the authority of the Securities and Exchange Commission. If it was a good path or not, I don't know. Obviously, it's hurt them in the market, and it's also probably hindered them as far as being able to release information, to be able to give out rewards or give out money to people that are developing. I mean, a lot of these things come under the Securities and Exchange Commission's regulations and rules, and maybe those rules and regulations are not yet well defined. But EOS has to kind of be a little bit concerned, or even maybe, I don't even know, I'm just speculating now. Maybe EOS has to run everything by the Securities and Exchange Commission because of the waiver they've gotten before they can do anything. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's why we have lack of information. Maybe that's why we have lack of a lot of things going on. I don't know. I don't know. I'm speculating right now. But yeah, we have two paths of taking. You can go down the rogue road, the Dan Larimer road, the independence from all regulators. There we go with my words again. I can't say them. The regulators. Going down that regulation road. One thing about English, if you can't say it one way, you can say another way. If I can't say regulator, I can say regulation. So going down the regulation road and getting a permission, or getting, the governmental entities to go along with you, or you can go down, we'll do it, and ask for forgiveness later. We're just going to barge ahead, ask for forgiveness later, and hope it works out. We'll see which way it works out. Okay, so Colin's going to the Ethereum route. Okay, he definitely didn't so low. I don't know what Colin's doing. I consider Colin a friend. I mean, I don't part ways with Colin because he decides to divest himself of EOS. I respect Colin and his ideas and his information and his things. I mean, he had a little different position than we have. We're running an application. We needed a blockchain. We went out, and just like anybody else that's in the market for something, we look for the best options available for us and our individual needs, and that was the EOS blockchain, and we've run on the EOS blockchain without any problems. Can't say that we've had any problems. We've never been outside of our own interruptions because we've updated our application, updated some of our information, our functionality, our interface, our UX and UI. We've been down for that, working on that for a while, so that's the only interruptions we've had. We haven't had any interruptions because the blockchain has not worked or operated properly, or block producers haven't done blocks or anything like that. We have zero problems as far as that's concerned. So our only reason for running on EOS right now is because it works, and it works very, very well, and we're very happy with it, and it's inexpensive. That's a practical position. It's not because EOS has made us tons of money, because it hasn't made us any money. The token has lost money, but as far as the operations and operability of EOS, it's been good to us. So, okay, Dan's working on Clarion OS to improve serialization library that could enhance the performance of EOS smart contracts by reducing CPU cost and loading, modifying data from the database without a token. Wow, Dave Adams, you are saying a lot of stuff there that you sound like you're probably in this pretty deep. The improved serialization library that could enhance the performance of EOS smart contracts by reducing CPU. What is the serialization of library? I mean, gosh, I know there's libraries for almost anything you want to do, but that's pretty interesting. I don't know what Dan's doing. It sounds like he's pretty deep into it. If I were Dan, I'd probably be in, I don't know, Cancun, Cabo San Lucas, Acapulco, Hawaii. That's probably where I wouldn't be working on the serialization library that can enhance the performance of EOS smart contract. That sounds pretty boring to me. Well, yeah. That's kind of like Elon Musk said about Warren Buffett. He studies balance sheets. It sounds pretty boring to me. I don't want to study balance sheets. It's funny because, Elon's kind of an interesting character. He does not the most verbally gifted person in the world. He can't string along a bunch of words. He interrupts himself quite a bit, and he talks in kind of a disjointed way. He talks for a little bit and stuff, but he gets his point across. And one day he was talking about not a fan of Warren Buffett. He says he pretty much sits around and studies financials, reads financial newspapers, and studies balance sheets. Not very interesting. Just like the improving of the serialization library that could enhance the performance of EOS smart contract. Reducing CPU and LUN doesn't sound very interesting. But to each his own. So EOS has many offices recruiting all over the world, and they have a lot of employees. True. I suppose when you raise $4 billion from a ICO, that gives you a pretty good war chest to run around and recruit people. I've actually known a few of the EOS employees. I've actually had some interactions with some of those people. So, well, I've had, I don't know how long we've been going on here for. Let's take a look. It's been quite some time. And I might be getting ready here to end the broadcast because I have some other work I need to get done. And I think I've had a pretty good interaction with quite a few people. I don't know how long I've been going on for, but I'm probably getting ready to end the broadcast. So if you have anything to say, throw it at me right now. Been making money on Binance Smart Chain, and it looks like is EOS ROP there. Oh, wow, an EOS ROP. Might be the best way for me to get more cut off right there. I don't know. I think the best EOS wallet right now is the Exodus, but I don't know who uses that wallet. I use the Exodus wallet. I've used the Exodus wallet before. In fact, I have an Exodus account. Yeah, I like Exodus. Exodus is easy to use. Very user-friendly. So, like I say, if there's anybody else that wants to add anything to this broadcast, let it be known now. And if we don't have it come up here, thanks for the chat. I appreciate it. Thanks, I appreciate it. And I appreciate the super chat, too. Smoking a blunt with Joe Rogan. You know what? I have found this to be very interesting. The blockchain people are some of the most funny, quick-witted people out there. I mean, you're never going to find anybody that comes up with good stuff like that. He's smoking a blunt with Joe Rogan. That is funny. I could just see Dan Larimer sitting there smoking a blunt with Joe Rogan, just like Elon Musk. That is hilarious. See, why be you? Why can't you be me? That's great. Funny stuff. I mean, thank you for that. That's funny. That makes me laugh. That makes this whole broadcast funny. Joe Rogan smoking a blunt with Dan Larimer. Guy, picture that. Somebody needs to make a meme of that. What are your thoughts on Nudex? Been wanting to buy some self-key and Telos with EOS, but I haven't got the chance to. I love Nudex. I think Nudex is a good idea. They're innovative, and furthermore, they seem to be in it for the long run. So, of course, that's the only exchange, the only meaningful exchange that we trade on. We trade on some other exchanges, but of course, our main exchange is the Nudex. So yeah, we're happy with Nudex. Let me know as soon as possible. Okay, we'll let you know. So, like I say, if anybody else wants to say anything, let me know. If not, I'm going to sign off. It's probably been going on for a few hours. I've enjoyed this. Like I say, if you're an EOS investor, don't lose faith. I think there's good things to come. We are still building consensus for blockchain in the world today. Like I said, I just showed you a little bit ago, Kevin O'Leary, the guy from Shark Tank, has just flipped from a Bitcoin hater to a Bitcoin investor. Elon Musk is investing, who's probably one of the most visible people in the world today. Michael Saylor is a great talk person for Bitcoin. He gives a very intelligent, straightforward talk about the qualities of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is ascending to new heights. Seems like it reaches a plateau and then it breaks through and keeps on going, keeps on going, keeps on going. I think 100,000. I think even some of the big hedge fund brokers have started to think about Bitcoin as a way to hold money. Some of the blue chip, some of the biggest money people in Wall Street are starting to buy Bitcoin. Endowments, funds managed by billionaire people. So I'm thinking Bitcoin transitioning to new digital economy is pretty much inevitable. So if you're holding some of these altcoins, I think you're probably going to be all right. All right, man. I love the blunt thing with I can just picture Dan Larimer with the blunt. It's funny because he's probably the last guy in the world would be smoking blunts. Maybe he needs to smoke a blunt. I don't know. Might help him out. Might help his ability to accept the world a little easier. Oh man, John McAfee, that dude, John McAfee. You would have to bring up John McAfee. I was just ready to sign off. What are your thoughts on John McAfee pumping EOS back into 2017 era? I don't know if McAfee's even talked about EOS. Send me a link. McAfee. McAfee's a crazy dude. Runs around with all the memes, Yeah, I missed out on it. So I thought McAfee was basically Bitcoin. Oh, let's see. We'll Google it, man. McAfee EOS. Oh, UL. To try. It's not even bring me. Yeah, send me some links. I don't know what McAfee's doing as far as EOS is concerned. I mean, the only people I really know that have been Peter Thiel was involved with EOS. Peter Thiel's pretty big. I mean, he was one of EOS's one of Musk's partners in PayPal. And then you got, of course, my good friend, I've talked to him before, Mike Novogratz. He was involved with EOS. But yeah, McAfee could have been. So McAfee wasn't now anymore, it sounds like. Okay. McAfee, I'll tell you the only thing I know about McAfee. First of all, his McAfee software stuff sucked. I hated that. Of course, I'm not using PCs anymore. I'm strictly Mac. Back in the day when we had PCs and we had virus problems, and there was a bunch of I don't even know what they call it anymore. What do they call it when you get viruses? The antivirus software stuff. One of them, McAfee, that's what he made his money on. I don't know. And he had one, and I never liked it. I used it a couple of times, thought it was terrible. Never understood it. Didn't think it helped. So I didn't like McAfee software. So then McAfee kind of fades out of the picture. I think he goes down to some Central America country, gets himself in trouble. And then all of a sudden he jumps back on the scene with cryptocurrencies, becomes a big cryptocurrency, kind of an anti-government Bitcoin kind of guy. And he makes this outlandish prediction that Bitcoin will be going to $1 million. That's McAfee. And of course, that's back before Bitcoin even pumped at all. I mean, Bitcoin, it pumped from its very initial stages, but I think Bitcoin's all-time high was around 19,000, around the 217 bull market. Then Bitcoin falls back, and of course, then McAfee starts calling Bitcoin, saying it's going to be $1 million. I remember the first time I saw a video with McAfee saying it was $1 million Bitcoin. I thought he was crazy. And then you start to watch more McAfee's videos, and he's just a crazy guy. Just a crazy guy. And now his $1 million prediction doesn't seem so crazy anymore. So yeah, I think he pushes the envelope. I like John McAfee. I think you need people like John McAfee out there to get people's attention. I wish McAfee was pushing EOS. It'd probably be somewhere better than 25. That's the problem with EOS. We have nobody pushing it. We've got no John McAfee. We've got no Vitalik Buterin. We've got nobody with the personality that can push this thing. The only person ever come close was can't even think of his name now. Somebody help me out with the guy that was early on. The guy that wore the cowboy hat and was always into the oh gosh, who am I thinking about? Help me out, people. Whoever was watching, I don't know how many people are watching, but help me out with the guy that was early involved with EOS, who got out of it. Actually, I think he voluntarily left or he left for a reason I can't remember. Trying to think who it was. But anyway, he was a good person to talk about EOS. I'll think about him in a second. But he was somebody that was getting people excited about EOS. Thank you. Brock Pierce. His name escaped me for a second. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, we need Brock Pierce. Where's Brock Pierce at? He needs to push EOS. I think he's down in Puerto Rico right now. I tried to get a hold of Brock not too long ago. I want to talk to him. He needs to get back involved. Because he was a big personality. He was somebody that got out there and pushed the envelope. He was out there, somebody was saying, hey, this is going to the moon. This is going to happen. And I'm telling you, for whatever you think, if you don't have big personalities involved with this stuff, you won't make it. Dan Lermers are not going to push things to where they need to go. John McAfee's will. Vitalik will. But Dan won't. I got to tell you a story. And then I'm going to end this broadcast because it's been going on a long time. In my early days as a penny stockbroker, we were involved with a company by the name of Touch Dialogues. Nobody's ever heard of it, and you never will hear about it because it never materialized. But they had one of the first touch-sensitive computer screens back in 1984. So you can interact with the computer software by touching the screen. Way before Apple, iPhone, way before any of this other stuff. There was an interactive, touch-sensitive computer screen. It was technology that was being developed. They weren't the first to develop it, but they were the ones that were developing the software. It's Touch Dialogues out of Fort Collins, Colorado. They had a president by the name of Paul Knight. Very nice guy. Tall man. Probably 6'5", 6'6", maybe. Slender man, engineer. Intellectual. Boring as hell. We used to go to these due diligences and we had to listen to him talk. And if you had to listen to him talk for 30 minutes, you were hitting the bar. Couldn't take it anymore. Just could not listen to Paul Knight talk very long. He was uninteresting. Like I said, tall man. 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", towered over everybody, has a presence about him. But when he got up and started talking, man, you fell asleep listening to this guy. He was an engineer, intellectual kind of guy. He had cutting-edge software, touch-sensitive computer screen, was going to change the world, but nobody was listening to this guy. He was horrible. And we were sitting there as young stockbrokers. We had to push this stuff out on the market. We had to get investors excited about it. We had to get people to talk about this thing. And we had the most boring guy in the world to listen to. We had no talking points. We had nobody to tell us how this technology was going to change the world. We didn't see it. 1984. Nobody saw the PC, the touch-sensitive screen, and all this other stuff. But they had a guy on his staff. They'd raised a couple $1 million, and they'd raised it because we were investment bankers. And we had private investors that raised a couple $1 million to take them public. They were traded on the pink sheets, which I don't know if they even have the pink sheets anymore. Small cap penny stocks. And Paul Knight was the guy, and nobody listened. But they had another guy. His name was Larry Scanlon. Scanlon or something like that. Very dynamic personality. Like the Brock Pierce person. And we loved to hear him talk. He'd get up and he inspired people. You got done listening to Larry Scanlon talk, you were ready to hit the phones. You were going to get your brother, your sister, your mother, your aunt, your uncle. Everybody you knew was going to buy this Touch Dialogue stock. Because Larry Scanlon got you motivated. Paul Knight made you go to sleep. Larry Scanlon got you motivated. So we'd listen to Larry. But Larry was actually, I think his family had developed the gasoline pump. So the gasoline pump that pumps the pump from the ground to your car. That was his family. His family was wealthy, had money. He had money, and he had become an investor in Touch Dialogues, probably because he had money and because he kind of wanted to, get involved with new technology. So he got involved with this thing, and he was a talker, and he was a motivator, and he was a promoter, and he was excited, and he got everybody excited. And by the time you left the room, like I said, you were pumped, and everything was good because you had both sides. You had the intellectual guy that could talk the technology, which is Paul Knight, the boring guy, and then you had the exciting guy, Larry Scanlon, who got you motivated and got you on the phones and talked and sold the thing and got everybody involved. And it took the two of them to make this thing work. Well, unfortunately, Larry Scanlon got killed. Died on the golf course by lightning strike. He's in Colorado someplace. They got these quick flash thunderstorms. The Front Range. He's out on the golf course, gets struck by lightning, gets killed. We lose our motivational speaker, person that drove the product, drove the idea, drove the motivators, drove us who were out on the phones trying to sell stock to our customers. And eventually it just faded away. They had nobody to push the idea. And that taught me a very important lesson very young in life. You got big personalities to push ideas. You know, I've been studying, I love to study history, and I've been studying Napoleon Bonaparte, the Napoleonic Wars, the European wars, and I've been watching YouTube videos on it because I love to listen to history. I don't listen to TV or anything like that, but I love history. I love to listen to history, and it's interesting how someone of poor, you know, just like Adolf Hitler, you know, poor back. I study World War II too. I love to study European wars. It's just fascinating to me. And the reason it's fascinating, there's two reasons why it's so fascinating to me. Number one is kind of the game theory of war and how people, dynamic personalities, can change history, and how people like Napoleon can influence world history. In fact, we even have Napoleonic law today in Louisiana. I mean, it's based on the French law because it's Louisiana has a very strong French history, and it's based on, and it's different than the rest of the country as far as our common law is concerned. Our common law comes from England. Most of the common law in the United States comes from England. Louisiana has Napoleonic law, which comes from France because a lot of people from France. So even today, Napoleon influences the world with his Napoleonic law that's still being used in Louisiana today. So a guy like that's very interesting to me. So I studied Napoleon and Napoleonic history, and that's stuff that I study, and that's very interesting, the influence of it and how it affects people. And that's why strong personalities affect things. And right now with EOS, we don't have a strong personality. We don't have someone to push the envelope. We don't have somebody to get on YouTube, somebody to get out there and get excited, somebody of noteworthiness, somebody that's got some name recognition, somebody's heard of. And we need that. We really do need that. We need someone to really, really, you know, pump the deal. People are saying, pump the deal. We need somebody to pump the deal. And right now we have nobody to do that. Brock Pierce was the closest we come. And I haven't seen him talk about EOS for a long time. I haven't seen, he did for a little bit. In fact, I think he had the Brock Pierce proxy. And I think that, I don't know if that's even, going or not. I mean, it's kind of like we're just in cruise, neutral. Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's just kind of sitting around waiting for somebody else to do it. So, Joe Wishing, yep, there we go, Barbara. Dave Adam, John McAfee pumped projects when he got paid from those projects. That's an honest behavior. That's why he's in jail. Oh, he's in jail. Okay, I didn't even know that. So good luck to John. He's in jail. Okay. Rico says, yes, we need face figure on EOS just like they do on Dogecoin with Elon and Snoop Dogg. Exactly. Look at Dogecoin. Elon just tweets about it and it takes off. Look at Bitcoin. Elon buys $1.5 billion and man, it takes off 50,000. And right now we have nobody with EOS. But maybe someone will come forth. Maybe we'll have somebody that takes hold. Maybe somebody will take up the cause and push EOS, because we need it. We need somebody to look at this and make value of it and push it for what its true value is, which is it's probably one of the best, if not the best, smart contract platform in the world. I think the best smart. Feel free to express yourself. I've pretty much read everybody's comment. If you have some other blockchain that you think is better than EOS, let's throw it out there. Snoop Dogg. I've actually met Snoop Dogg. Knows my sister pretty well. Knows my daughter pretty well. And Elon, nice guy. I mean, I kind of get a kick out of Elon. First of all, because he did smoke a blunt with Joe Rogan, which shows that he doesn't give a fuck. I mean, he got all kinds of heat for that, man. He got all kinds of heat for, waiting for Texas to succeed. Yeah, they may. Yeah. I was in Texas here not too long. It was in Texarkana. I thought it was a pretty nice place. Yep. They're not wearing masks in Texas anymore, it sounds like. So I'm going to have to get out of this before I keep going all day. We are, what time are we at here in the left coast? Speaking of Texas, everybody in Texas thinks California is way out in wacko world. California is not in wacko world. It's California. Let me tell you about California. I lived here for over 20 years. California is a pretty high standard of living place to be. You can do much worse than California. For all the people out there that hate on California, it's a pretty nice place to be. I'm sitting here right now. I'm a couple blocks from the beach. In fact, as soon as this broadcast ends, I'm heading to the beach, and I'm gonna do my wind sprints on the beach. How cool is that? That I can go down there and do my wind sprints on the beach. I decided for myself, as far as my health is concerned, that quick bursts of energy is better than long, extended periods of, I can walk for miles and not lose any weight. I go down and run 10 wind sprints, 40-yard wind sprints on the beach, and I lose some weight. And yesterday I was running one of my wind sprints, and I'm horrible. My wind sprints are terrible. But I got out of balance, and I actually tumbled and fell. And I'm 60, almost 61 years old. So, you're a 61-year-old guy, and you fall on the street or on the hard ground, you're gonna get yourself hurt. But I just took a tumble on the beach, rolled out of the sand, got up, hoped nobody saw me, and just finished with my wind sprints. How many people can do that? How many people could go down and run wind sprints on the beach and have a beautiful surf to one side and have the California beach to the other side? That's pretty damn nice. So California is a pretty nice place to be. I love California. Hopefully, and I love California not only because it's a great place to live, and people may say that it's a place that has too much taxes and is too liberal and stuff like that. I hear a lot of people hate on California. A lot of YouTubers hate on California. Call it the communist state or something like that. But I'll tell you what, it's taking care of me. It's taking care of my family. It takes care of a lot of people around here. It's a good, clean place to live. I mean, we travel. I go to Mexico quite often. Not to say anything negative about Mexico, but you certainly see a difference when you cross the border. And I see the difference in California when I go other places. It's a high quality, high standard of living. So my 2 cents for California. I love California. Of course, I experienced the Midwest before I got out here. I got tired of the cold weather. I got tired of, not seeing an ocean for some reason. There's some people like seeing the mountains. Some people like seeing the ocean. I like seeing the ocean. I like to see out in a clear day and see forever on the ocean. And then I like to see the sunsets. So I'm not too much on the East Coast because that's the sunrise. We're on the West Coast, the sunset. I like to see the sunset. So we got Rico asking another question. He says, hey, just one more question. Who's actually on the EOS network creating those 20 million transactions daily? You know what, Rico, that's probably, I don't know if Adios is still on there spamming the network, but and we talked to the block producer yesterday, and they said a lot of the network activity right now is spamming. And they're letting it happen because they are testing the integrity of the infrastructure. So that's a good thing that there's 20 million transactions, because it could be, and I could bring the blockchain up and take a look at those transactions. Let's go to the transactions on EOS right now. You brought up a good point. Keep this thing going a little bit longer. I'm going to bring up the chain. So yeah, it's still EOS. Let's see who's doing the transactions right now. Right here, you can see the account names right here coming up. This is the 20 million transactions that you're looking at. And of course, these are the identification numbers. They're actually contained within the block, so you're not going to show 20 million here from this live transaction port here, but this is what's going on the chain. This is a live chain, EOS chain. Who is this? This is I don't see the EOS transactions. Yeah, these are spam. This is spam, I think. So this is the transactions going. This is the live transactions. You can just go to Blocks.io and take a look at the live transactions. But that's a good question. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. You got Pelosi. That has to suck. I'm by the beach in Florida. But you have alligators and mosquitoes. We do have Pelosi. I agree. That's probably not the best. I'm not a Nancy Pelosi fan. My wife loves Nancy Pelosi, but I think Nancy should step aside and let somebody younger take over. I'm not into politics. I could care less. Pelosi does not bother me. I don't even think of her. I don't watch any news. I don't watch any news. I could care less. I don't even care who's president. I haven't even thought about it. Oh, Dave Adams said, Kent, EOS community is getting bigger on Twitter. I think so. I'm not a big, you know what? I'm not a big Twitter guy. Twitter just does not, I never really, I'm semi-Facebook. I'm probably YouTube more than anything. The reason I like YouTube is, like I said a little bit ago, I like history. And I watch a lot of History Channel. Not a lot of History Channel, not History Channel per se, but just a lot of history videos. A lot of people put videos up on YouTube about like Napoleon, and I like watching videos about world wars, like World War I, World War II. I just like history, and I like my entertainment is watching videos about history. It's probably what I enjoy the most. Okay. Do you think, Edgar again, do you think Cardano or DOT will have the highest blocktivity when their mainnet is fully up and running? Good question. Charles Hoskinson, who is the creator and founder of the Cardano blockchain, used to be in with Ethereum, was a partner with Vitalik, and he's a very interesting person. He's probably more vocal than most people in blockchain. I like Charles. I listen to him, but he talks about everything. I mean, he's just an interesting guy. He talks about politics. He talks about everything. So I don't know. Cardano has got a lot of people following it right now, but it's still, I don't even think Cardano's in blocktivity. It's not running. Got the train going through. Yeah, Cardano's not even up and running. So I don't know what to tell you about Cardano. Like I say, Hawkinson's got an interesting past. He's with Vitalik Buterin in Ethereum's early days, so he's got a lot of people following him. He has a lot of a blockchain history, been around forever, probably a very wealthy guy by now, with his investments in Ethereum and blockchain, or in Bitcoin. But I've heard Charles talk about the Security and Exchange Commission. He says he's not a security. He says he is he's decentralized enough not to be a security. I don't know that the Security and Exchange Commission's ever ruled on Cardano as far as their ICO is concerned. I think he needs to consider that. I've heard him argue his condition or his position as non-security, but I also know that when you're dealing with the law, you have it's about as inconclusive as you can get. As you can see that with XRP and Ripple, they'll argue this till the cows come home. It's going to drag on forever. Who knows what's going to come of it? You don't want to be drugged into one of those situations. That's why I'm saying EOS has such a superior advantage right now, because they've already settled that. So, I don't know. Maybe Security and Exchange Commission leaves Cardano alone. I hope they do. I'm pulling for Charles. I'd like to see Charles make it. I'd like to see Cardano make it. I want the Security and Exchange Commission to leave everybody alone, to go away, to crawl back into their hole that they crawled out of. But if they do come for you, and if they do want to take you to court or file lawsuits against you like they did XRP, then you're just going to have to deal with it. Because if you don't deal with it, they're going to cause you problems. They're going to seize bank accounts. They're going to make it difficult for you to operate in the world. They're going to sanction you. They're going to do all kinds of things to you. So, yeah. I don't know where Cardano stands. That's where everybody else is at too. The only two blockchains that are safe in the world today, from the regulatory authority of the Securities and Exchange Commission and Mr. Gensler, who's probably about to be nominated here any day, is EOS and Bitcoin. Because I've listened to Gensler, and I think his name's Gary. This guy right here. Before the last dump, there was 60 million transactions, and then it dropped to like 20 million. So yeah, who knows? I don't watch it. It's got to be the most boring thing in the world to sit there and watch live transactions on EOS. And like you say, you don't even know. I mean, you can pull these out. You can look at these, but they're not going to tell you anything. It's just transfers. Looks like, yeah, this is spamming stuff when you got 0.0001 EOS. This looks like spam. Yeah, this is EDILS transfer. This is still spamming the network. So all these transactions are coming from spam. But this is going by pretty fast. But the thing about it is, it isn't what this is spam. It's still transactions. So it takes infrastructure to run this transactions. So, yeah, thanks, Edgar. I'm just telling you that the block producers have got together and they've gotten the ability to control this spam. And this is valuable, that you can run this many transactions on a blockchain. Unparalleled. Any place else in the world. Unparalleled in any other blockchain. So it's not to be discounted. In fact, you got this guy coming after all other blockchains, Gary Gensler. And you got Blocktivity, which is running the two EOS IO software, Talos and EOS. Number 3 is XRP. It's in a lawsuit with the Securities and Exchange Commission. So these two are running the fastest software in the world. And they got a waiver from the Securities and Exchange Commission. But yet we're at number 25. So how are all these numbers going to come together? I don't know. Figure it out. And then you have all these applications running on the EOS blockchain that are legitimate, not spam. We're legitimate. Find out how legitimate we are by downloading our application. Go to the application store, the App Store. Download Challenge EOS. Check it out. We're a legitimate running application. There's just transactions every day that has people running smart contracts. So, okay, everyone. I think I'm about ready to take off. Go down and run my wind sprints on the beach in this Southern California afternoon. See what the weather's like here in Carlsbad, California. Hopefully I don't bust my face on the sand. It was pretty funny the other day when I fell. I wish I would have had a video of that. Wow, we had some precipitation coming. So we're 64 degrees. So I'm going to be running my wind sprints in 60-degree weather. I don't know where you're at in the world. If it's cold, warm, hot, whatever it is. What do you think, Edgar, again? What do you think of Proton XRP? I don't know. Probably have to do it on the next one. Oh, so the XRP Oh, I'm misreading it. I'm saying XRP. I didn't think that was XRP. That is XPP. XPR Proton built on EOS. So EOS is the top 3. Yeah, all right. That was a big boo-boo, wasn't it? Thanks for that, Blockcrafter. Let's bring it back up and look at it. So this is not XRP. I'm actually reading this wrong. This is XPR, which is Proton running on the EOS.io software. Oh, is that Freddy Krueger? Oh my gosh. Fred is running XPR. Yeah, I know Fred. In fact, talk to him quite often up at the San Francisco blockchain. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's really bad of me to transpose XPR to XRP. Man, that's a good reason to end this broadcast. So yeah, I got XRP on the mind because I'm thinking about it in the lawsuit, and I pull up Blocktivity, and I don't even think XRP is a blockchain. Shouldn't even be on here. So XRP is just a way of like Swift money transfers. So yeah, that's not a good analysis. So I appreciate you bringing that out. So I didn't know it was Freddy Krueger, and so I heard he had his own chain. That Fred was running his own chain. Yeah, I heard that. So yeah, he's up there in Blocktivity. So yeah. So if you don't know who Fred Krueger is, he's the one that come up with the Lynx wallet, I guess is what they call it. Lynx wallet. And I've opened a lot of EOS accounts on the Lynx wallet. It's a really good wallet. I like it. And I think Fred Krueger is one of the nice guys in the EOS blockchain. He was very interesting to talk to up at the... yeah, Wax is up there too. Wax is running EOS.io software. So yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think half of the top 10 are EOS.io softwares. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Yeah, and then the next one is in Ethereum. HBAR is in EOS.io, is it? Whoever's that Blockcrafter, answer the question. Sorry about that. Block Crafters. So is HBAR EOS.io? So you say, I think half the top 10 are EOS.io. I don't think Blockcrafter or HBAR is. So Dan Lambert makes his footprint on the Blocktivity website. So whenever you think Dan is just out there in La La Land, his blockchains are running the fastest of any blockchains in the world. Oh, Leif Garrett or Leif Horton. Yeah, how you doing, man? Yeah. Okay, Ryan says, why do we have a 12-character account name on Challenge app? Why is it 6? Number 7 password. Okay, that's a good question, and I don't have the answer. So why don't you... I mean, everything is done because of the coding. So if it's done because of 12 characters, it's probably the easiest way for them to do it. Yeah. Thanks, Blockcrafters. Blockcrafters has its own software. Yeah, it's doing good. Yeah, someone brought that up. I'd never seen HBAR before, but they're kicking ass. Okay, man. I think it's time to depart this live stream. I've had a pretty good time of it. Enjoyed myself. Thank you for everybody that participated. It's been a lot of fun. I hope the podcast turns out well. I never know until I watch it myself, but I appreciate everybody participated. Thank you very much. Have a good day.